1, 2. What's up? What's up, everybody? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good?
Jasmine hates when I do that. Stop hating on me, girl.
Don't need no hateration or no holleration.
1320.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? Quick roll call here. What do we got going on? Michael, what's happening? Warren, what's good? Dr. David, I see you. Michigan, Tyler. David Jackson. What's going on, man?
Rob Dub.
Eric L, what's happening? Ramsey.
Now, what was Ramsey's? Maybe it was the Giants. They won 10 straight road games.
See what Ramsey got. Let's go with this Thursday. Rest Ryan Mallett. Yes, indeed. What a bizarre. It was a terrible story.
What happened? What happened there?
Ryan Mallett like drowned.
The football player?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Like 30, 35, I think.
Yeah, you're not old at all.
Terrible. Leonard Fournette. Yeah, Leonard Fournette's car caught on fire while he was driving it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Awful. Yeah.
So I stay out the water.
I think it was a football player who got pretty, like, he's okay now. That's who it was.
Yeah, he's tried to save his son.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what happened to Shad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm kind of cool off. I'm cool off the ocean, right? Like,
the ocean is scary as shit.
The ocean,
man.
Like,
Ocean is scary as hell.
You just, it's powerful, man. It's powerful. At any moment, it could just take you out.
Hey, Riggs.
Yeah. We got him screaming D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, KC, D-Lo. We got him screaming D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, D-Lo. We your number one spot for some sports, huh? Got the city going crazy when we work, huh? We top 2, but we ain't 2, we in first, huh? And when you need the real, we is who you search, huh? D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, KC, D-Lo. We your number one spot.
Vibe check, baby. Vibe check, baby. How everybody feeling today? Today? Let's go ahead and run. Oh, goodness.
One of the most slept on best R&B albums of all time.
Oh, yeah, that's fire.
An unbelievable project
that's
by
fire.
Carl Thomas. The whole album is fire. No skips. I mean that when I say it. No skips. Carl Thomas, Emotional, one of the great R&B albums of all time.
And as Zen Masters Black Basketball Channel says, and I wish I never met her at all. Oh, man, we appreciate y'all so much for being with us. Shout out to YouTube, who's going to tell us you can't do that, guys. You can't do that. You're not 95.7 The Game. You can't play entire discographies on your show.
What's going on with that?
You can't do that. Sorry, guys. You will earn no money for today's show, so please shut the hell up and talk about basketball. Hashtag shut up and dribble. Dummies. We welcome you in here to the Wednesday, June 28th edition of D-Lo and KC. I'm Damian Barling.
Acknowledge me.
He's Kenny Caraway.
Yes, sir.
I don't know why.
Always been jumping the gun lately.
I don't know why. I'm jumpy. I want this week to end. I can't take this no more.
It's popping off right now.
I cannot take this anymore. I'm tired of these reports. I'm tired of names going out there. I'm tired of people texting me going, we 2 hours and 45 minutes into a show. Hey, I hope you didn't really lean into that Jake Fisher article because don't do it. Oh, you're 2 hours and 45 minutes late there, pal. I heard you tell our friends over at 95.7 this morning. I'll screenshot yesterday's show. I'll screenshot the layout.
It's supposed to be 1 segment.
It was a segment. It was a block of 20 some odd minutes. How the hell we went 2 straight hours on this? I don't know.
That was crazy.
I don't know. I don't know
how we got there.
But it happened.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that person couldn't have texted me 2 hours and 45 minutes earlier. So league sources confirmed to D'Lo and KC, ESPN 1320, and our ESPN 1320 Kings insider James Ham that for the first time in several weeks, that the Sacramento Kings and Harrison Barnes are discussing a contract extension.
That's bizarre. That's kind of bizarre.
Is it?
I've
got a theory. I've got a theory because I know what everybody's thinking, and I can't shut it down because I'm not. It's not Monty, Wes, D'Lo, and KC. It's Monty and Wes. And I'm not privy to that stuff. We hear stuff, but I'm not privy to it. But I have an opinion.
Okay.
Because people are like, okay, and Jesse asked right before the show, you think something fell through? Something fell through. I saw. I guess Kuzma said no. I don't know that they actually talked to Kuzma. Now, work with me here. There might have been a discussion, perhaps during the Rashawn Holmes trade, because I think they share an agency.
Okay.
What's Kuz doing? Nothing unsavory. Certainly nothing against the rules. Just what's Kuz doing? Oh, Kuz likes ... Oh, okay. What's he looking at? Dollar figure. Oh, good for him. All right, see ya. Could have been simple as that.
I'll say this. Hey, look, you've been in these rooms. You know how these things go. So I will defer to you in these type of situations, every time. But my thought is, don't overthink it.
Well,
they were talking.
Don't. Yeah, don't overthink it.
They were talking to the man. Then they started getting linked to other people. They stopped talking to the man. And as soon as those other people got linked to somebody else, they started talking to the man again.
Well, I think that's too simplistic, though.
Okay.
There's overthinking and then there's simplicity. Because all of these names, the one that I'd put your money on is OG.
Thanks.
There was something with OG. I don't know if there was or there wasn't with Kyle Kuzma. I don't know where Jeremy Grant stuff is. I don't know where any of that is. What I do wonder is, and this was the theory I proposed to Jesse, what I do wonder is if I think it started with the OG stuff. That died. I think for a number of different reasons it died. And then I wonder if they started kicking the tires on the restricted free agents. Talking to Sean Marks, talking to Brooklyn. Look, you got a player we really, really like.
Yeah.
What are you guys thinking with this individual? Then we start hearing, you want timelines. Well, we can line up a timeline. It was it was this week that the story about Brooklyn. Brooklyn's matching everything. They are matching everything. Okay. One name we haven't talked a ton about, one name I haven't even read a lot about is PJ Washington.
Right.
Hypothetically, perhaps they hit up Charlotte.
Yeah.
What are y'all doing? I mean, we can't blindly make an offer here.
Right.
What are y'all doing? And whether this is directly or through indirect channel, whatever. What are y'all doing? We're matching, man. We got Scoot here. We got we got Brandon Miller here. We got LaMelo. We really like PJ. We've got to get on track here. So we're matching with PJ. He's part of what we do. Okay.
Hey, baby.
Hey, girl. Sorry, y'all. My phone wasn't working. You good? How's your mom? All right. How's Brittany? How's the baby? Y'all good?
Hit him with that Jay-Z. I was just talking to them girls. I was going to get right back.
And let's be clear how this stuff works. We say the Kings and Harrison Barnes. The Kings aren't talking to Harrison Barnes.
Right.
The Kings are talking to Harrison Barnes' agent. But those conversations resumed last night. Here we are, 12 o'clock on the Wednesday before the start of free agency, which is Friday. We don't have any extension to announce.
And I'll say this as well. It's easy for me to say on the outside looking in, but I would think Harrison and his representatives, when I say, it's strange or people are like, oh, no, I don't want to talk to them now. But it's part of the game. It's part of how things go. This is part of the business. Sometimes people, are hot after you. Sometimes they get cold and they come back later. It's part of the business. The only thing I will say is it's not like I'm not going to talk to you. my inconvenience might cost you a little bit. Might cost you a couple more million, but no hard feelings. We can get the deal done. We can come back and we can try and continue to reach our goals. Ain't no hard feelings here. We know it's business. And like I said, with business, I was inconvenienced for a couple weeks. That may cost you a little bit, but that's okay. And the Kings might be like, yeah, well, that's the price we got to pay for stepping out a little bit.
Well,
we got to go get that. We got to go get that new pair of shoes.
Well, there's a flip side to that, and what I don't. We say 2.5, 3 weeks. I don't know that it's been 3 weeks, but we'll say 2.5 weeks. The Kings' financial situation has changed in 2.5 weeks.
You got it now.
So yeah,
don't tell me you ain't got it.
I don't know if it's Jeff. I don't know who represents him at that agency. Who specifically? I don't know if it's Jeff Schwartz or someone else. But yeah, yeah. Oh no, we can resume talks. I see your bank account grew. Because you wanted, hypothetically, I'm throwing out numbers here. These aren't real. This show is for entertainment purposes only. You were throwing out 16.5 mil. I wanted 20. Now explain to me again the reason it can't be 20. Y'all can take care of Domas. Y'all can take care of Trey. Y'all can find some solid players for your second unit. But I'm gonna need you to explain to me what it's almost like you have to start the conversation over again.
Yeah. And look, and the Kings are gonna have to take that. Like you have to take, like, well, you went out, you tried it.
You might, unless hey, bro, Indiana's offering you 13.
Oh, that's the whole thing.
You need we like you and we want you here, but let's not be ridiculous,
right?
And that, by the way, that's Harrison's agent's job. Harrison's agent's job is tell him, give me 30. But realistically, what are you getting from Sacramento? What are you getting from Team B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on? That's their job. That's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. So, I mean, nothing's official yet, but, signs are reading the tea leaves.
Oh, man, there's tea leaves all
everywhere.
Over the place.
And, that has a lot of people.
I got 5 texts full of tea leaves.
Oh, since we started the show?
No, God, no.
Oh.
No, since this morning.
Okay. It has, mixed reaction, the thought of Harrison Barnes coming back. And, I understand both sides. I completely understand both sides. But I'm going to give you the real talk about what Harrison coming back means.
Okay.
Give you that real talk.
I'm ready.
Hit that. Before I started smoking a pack of cigarettes a day, I could hit that note. Now, I smoke a pack of cigarettes apparently in my sleep. I don't know. I guess that's what happened. Now I don't have no voice.
Yeah. Death is knocking on the door. Kenny's still near death. Damn shame. Damn shame what happened to Kenny Caraway.
It's funny. My voice changed a little bit after I had Reese. I don't know what happened. It got more raspier. There's video of me. I think I've talked about this before, but there's video of me when Reese is born, like right when he's born, talking to him. And everybody in the house is like, why did your voice sound like that? Like, I don't know.
It's like me at KSFM.
Right. The crazy thing is I was 29 when Reese was born. So I guess I've had like 3 voice changes.
Yeah, my voice changed at the tender age of 23.
I know, man. I know, Nate G. It's not going to be an act. Well, it's not going to be an act. It's really, I'm going to come in here every day. I'm just going to talk like that. Complex in the house, walking right by me.
Just ignored us. That's a goddamn shame. It's a damn shame. Just walk by, look straight ahead.
There's more people in here
just walking around again today.
What the hell's going on here? That's true, Alex. Doc didn't always sound like that. Doc, when he was broadcasting games, like not the ABC days, but the TBS days, sounded completely different. It's crazy.
It's an act like Dick Vitale.
Dickie B, he's a PTPer. He's a Rolls Roycer. I used to be able to do a good Dick Vitale impression, but voice is gone. That's exactly what happened. There he is.
You're just walking back and forth, man. What you doing? What you doing?
Oh, man.
Y'all hit the thumbs up while you're here, man. We appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up.
I don't know if I
subscribe too if you're not a subscriber.
If I told this story, I saw it on Twitter. I don't know, weeks ago or something like that. And the guy was like, I told my wife all I wanted for my birthday was like 2 or 3 pairs of shoes. And she comes in, and for my birthday, she takes me on a trip. You know, we're at a resort. It's elaborate dinner. It's got him something else. And he said, the whole time we were going through all this, all I was thinking about was, you know how many pairs of shoes you could have bought me for this trip? Come on, Michigan. Don't play like that. Ain't nobody beating Boots Ennis until he faces. I don't know who beat Boots Ennis. Boots Ennis is next. He's the next best fighter in the world. People talking that Shakur talk. Yeah, Shakur nice, whatever. Boots is the next best fighter in the world. I don't think so. TCG. I don't think so. I don't think that's the case.
Looks like a lot of people are interested in Dante DiVincenzo. Or a lot of teams are interested in Dante DiVincenzo. It's good. I was wondering what the market would be for him and what the dollar figure would look like for him.
What are the teams? What they looking like?
Well, we've got the Knicks, your Knicks, if you will.
Oh, okay.
The Timberwolves, Bulls, Pistons listed in this New York Sportsnet report. I'm looking at real quick. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, man.
Jeez.
You might be interested in Dante DiVincenzo. I'm going to guess Dante DiVincenzo is not interested in you.
Well, what are we doing, Chicago?
But yeah, the Bulls got to make a decision. They've got to do something here because they're stuck in. And I'll stall them out a little bit. Not to any. It just doesn't like you're losing big Vucevic,
big Vuce,
and you've already ruled out Lonzo Ball for the year. You're entering the final season of DeMar DeRozan's contract.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Be proactive here.
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Easy for me to say, but be proactive here. The Kyle Kuzma era was a hell of an era, man. What a day it was yesterday. What a 2 hours and 45 minutes we had yesterday discussing Kyle Kuzma.
We spent the whole day talking about people that aren't coming to Sacramento.
We did.
Kyle Kuzma and Draymond Green.
We did, man. I saw the tweet this morning. Is Draymond Green headed to Sacramento? Kenny Caraway joins us next. Like, that would have been the shortest interview in history. KC, Draymond, Sacramento? No.
Next question, please.
Yeah, it's not happening.
I told they got all upset. They didn't get upset. I take that back. But they were just blown away by. They were like, "What would Draymond Green be worth to you?" And I
heard that.
I said, "Man, I give him like $10-15 million a year." They're like, "What?"
Yeah, no, they can feel however they want to. Let's find out how they feel on Friday when he gets 35.
Bro, he's getting $100 million.
Let's see how they feel then.
Bonte want to talk about us making franchise suicide signing Sabonis. Oh, please give Draymond 3 for 110. Please.
I love Bonte. That's the only reason I'm not reading his text out loud, boy. That man talking about franchise suicide. Man, he really go hard at Sabonis too.
Please slide Draymond again.
Yeah, do that.
Draymond.
Do that.
Draymond got his ass whooped in these playoffs.
3 years, $105 million.
And they want to get this man 90 to 100 million. He got his ass kicked in 2 rounds.
That man's getting.
Looney make $8 million a year, vastly outplayed him until he got sick.
Warriors are so concerned about what the Sacramento Kings are going to do. No need to be. Relax. Draymond ain't going nowhere. Draymond don't want to go nowhere.
He's all yours.
He's
don't
all
want him.
You are bidding against yourself. Enjoy that.
Uh,
Let's go back to draft night.
Mm.
Did the Sacramento Kings free up cap space to sign Harrison Barnes and extend Domantas Sabonis? Oh,
I don't.
That reminds me. Can we mention this just real quick before we dive into that?
Absolutely.
Jake Fisher talked about in Jake Fisher's a fine reporter. I'm not criticizing him at all. He's the one who brought the Kyle Kuzma stuff out there into the forefront a little bit, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But he also mentioned the Domas extension, and he used numbers that are incredibly unrealistic. He said 4 and 120, 4 years and 100. Now, Monty, Wes, Vivek, and probably 500,000 Kings fans across the country will do that in a heartbeat.
Yes.
The person who won't is Domantas Sabonis.
Right.
Domantas Sabonis and his agent. I think what Jake Fisher did was just took his current salary, gave him a 30% or a 140% raise, and said that's what the deal is.
Yeah.
That's not what this is.
Yeah.
And I saw there were some people struggling to grasp this concept yesterday afternoon. So we'll talk slow for you to where even you can understand. It's the $22 million he's making plus a raise. That gets you to what James just made up numbers.
Right.
Hypothetically, you give him an $8 million raise, that gets him to $30 million this season. $30 million instead of $22 million. Now the contract that you're signing is 140% off of the $30 million, not off of the 20. If you didn't understand that, feel free to continue to tweet our insider. He will talk as slowly as possible to you. Second, the Jake Fisher, that's Jake. I just got this wrong.
Yeah.
He just completely got that wrong.
Yeah.
It's a renegotiate and extend, not an extend.
Right.
That
right.
There's no way Domas and his people at Wasserman would do that.
No, not at all, man. I talked about when James was here and we were talking about it, like if it's 196 compared to like 210, like if he would have waited, wait through the whole year, he could get 210, 220. If he can go through this sign, renegotiate, and new contract. Renegotiate and extend.
Renegotiate and extend is fair.
Yeah.
Raise and extend is a little out of. That's a little. I'm not comfortable with that.
Raise and extend.
I would hate to have a Chris Haynes on here and just have to pause him because he said raise and extend over and over and over again.
Shout out to Chris Haynes. David Mitchell over at Charlene's.
Man, what an interview that was too.
Yeah.
Credit to Chris, Mark, and Davion. That
Absolutely.
was great stuff.
Absolutely, man. I'm mad I didn't get a chance to get to it. Had a game. Season's over. Shout out Laguna Gray. Yeah, man. I definitely.
It's available in podcast form. It's a really, really good interview.
I can't wait for the next one. I need to do this like once every other month or something.
Yeah,
like
Davion got comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Davion even himself was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this. Oh, it's too late now. Let it ride, yo.
Right.
Let it ride.
But Domas, if the two options on the table are play out the whole year and you could get 220 million, or go through the renegotiate and extend and you can get like 196
or more, yeah,
or more.
Yeah.
But say it ended up being
196.
200,
yeah.
Go ahead, take the 196, bro. Like, who am I to say like pass on $25 million? But still, like, 196. You don't know what's going on with this thumb. You don't know how injured you are. You're coming off maybe what might end up being the best season of your career. Not that you won't have other good seasons, but you're all NBA third team here, an all-star. It might be the best season you ever have. And take the 196. It's in a place that you want to be. You're committed to it. There's no need to mess around with the extra $25 million. I would take the 190. I would advise him, just take if this is where you want to be.
Yeah, I would too.
Just take the 196.
Yeah, I 100% would. And it also starts the clock on another contract.
Yes.
Which he'll get.
Yeah.
I also saw De'Aaron is eligible for an extension.
This offseason?
Yeah, like now. Well, actually, not now. July 8th, I think, or July 9th, he's eligible for an extension, which I guess is probably the first day of the new league year. And I'm trying to think, because he has, I think it's 3 years left on his deal. I think this is that 2-year extension. I feel like Russ signed it once. Maybe Harden signed one. But I remember maybe even Bradley Beal signed one. But it just turns your 3-year deal into a 5-year deal. Yeah. Whether that's in the Kings' plans, I have no idea. I don't know what the parameters for stuff like that is, but I saw it reading something from ESPN today, which isn't something that I had even remotely thought about, that De'Aaron would be eligible for one of those. Yeah. And that's a big boy extension. That's when you're in the upper echelon of those contracts, you have the opportunity to sign those. Let's get Ramsey in here real quick. 916-909-1320. What's good, Ramsey?
Not too much. Seeing that y'all brought it up, I want to give a shout out to Chris Haynes, his wife Charlotte, Davion Mitchell, and everybody that showed up, like Katrina and I did yesterday for the
were you up
podcast.
There?
Yeah, Katrina and I went.
Nice, man. That was big, man. I love seeing Chris Haynes and his lovely wife, and bringing all this to Sacramento, man. I love that.
Ramsey, you get some product?
Yes, I did.
What'd you get?
I got a couple things for the beard and something for the hair, and Katrina got some stuff for us and for our daughter.
Okay. Yeah, see them, Charlene's. They got everything you need.
They got it.
You got everything you need, man. We ain't never gonna see it on Ramsey, because every time we see him, we got the mask on.
Yeah, we ain't never gonna see that beard again. We just call Ramsey last mask. He the last one. He fighting to go fight. Come on, Ramsey. You got this, baby. I love Ramsey's delivery. The way he delivered, like the delivery in his voice, like it's unmistakably Ramsey.
Oh yeah, we already know who it is. When I seen him for the first time, I could have closed my eyes. I said, "Oh, that's Ramsey."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
AKA Cypher.
Yeah.
Cypher Sounds. Ramsey was a b-boy back in the day, man. You can tell.
Yeah, bars.
Probably where he met Katrina.
Bars.
916-909-1320. So I apologize. I diverted us a little bit there because I wanted to mention Jake Fisher's articles. We were talking about Domas and this cap space, but the original question is, did the Sacramento Kings free up cap space to give Domas a raise and re-sign Harrison Barnes?
I don't believe it was to re-sign Harrison Barnes. I think the raise was part of it for Domas. I don't believe it was to re-sign Harrison Barnes. I could be wrong, but I think they were trying to free up space for what was out there, free agency wise, or in a trade. I don't think they clearly, because it doesn't look like it's the case, but I don't think they were like, we're done with Harrison at all costs.
Right.
I don't think that was the case, but they were out there. It was like, let's see what's going on out there. And if we're going to see what's going on out there, we got to make sure we're prepared. We can't go shopping and not have no money. You know what I mean? If we're going to go, on Rodeo Boulevard, let's make sure we got the cash if we see something we like. They didn't see nothing they liked. They mean it already got all the good stuff.
Hate when that happens. Okay.
What do you think?
Bro, I don't know. I kept thinking, let this play out. Let this ride. There's stuff out there. Let it ride. Let's see what happens. And it was all for me, just wait. If we hear that they're back at Harrison, okay, maybe they didn't quite, because they could have been talking to Harrison this whole time if that was the plan.
Right.
And they, we've talked about what's the line? Maintain and improve.
Mm-hmm.
Well, remember the original Monty McNair edict? Flexibility. Make sure we have flexibility as it pertains to their financial situation. So they have flexibility. Like you need to spend up to 90% of your salary cap by the first day of I don't remember if it's the first day of training camp or the first day of the regular season, but 90% of your salary cap has to be spent.
Yeah.
And so it's not like you can just hold on to, tens and millions of dollars and say, oh, we'll just see what happens. You've got to, you've got to, if there's a plan A and it didn't work and there's a plan B and it did, okay, execute plan C. What's plan C? Well, maybe plan C, and I'm not saying this is the case, but next up, okay, Harrison, and then we've got to bolster this bench a little bit. We hope, we believe we've got Sasha coming over. All right. I think Trey Lyles is a priority for us. He did a lot. What are we doing next? Are we looking for a wing defender? What's Dillon Brooks' price tag? Can we talk about that? Is there a situation where Harrison and Dillon Brooks could be signed? Is that what they're trying to work through? Are they even interested in Dillon Brooks? Is there a player like Dillon Brooks? Because you have Dillon Brooks as a guy coming off the bench. I don't know if the rest of the league feels that way. I'm confident Dillon Brooks doesn't feel that way.
Sure?
But it's not up to him,
right?
It's up to the league. Like, it's up to who signs him and what's out there for him. It's also what's important to him. Would you rather play for the Houston Rockets and start and attempt to build, or would you rather play for the Sacramento Kings and see if you can get to the Western Conference Finals? One you would be starting for, one you'd probably be coming off the bench for. Though, out of line to think Harrison and Dillon Brooks could be interchangeable. I don't see Harrison coming off the bench, especially here.
I don't either.
And not for, with all due respect, not for him, but maybe there's a specific matchup. Maybe there's something where Dillon Brooks works in that favor.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't see Harrison Barnes coming off the bench at all. I don't think he people kind of jump out the window when they talk about Harrison Barnes. He's not a bench player. This is a guy that starts in the league.
I agree, but but you were pretty adamant that Dillon Brooks
is what?
A bench player.
Yes. I think served best, he's a bench player.
Okay.
I think Harrison Barnes is better than Dillon Brooks. Dillon Brooks is a better defender.
He has one skill set that's better.
Yeah. That's about it. I like you, I couldn't see Harrison Barnes coming off the bench here in Sacramento, and especially not for a Dillon Brooks. Now, when you talk about interchangeable, I don't know. Like, do you mean like they rotate times who starts?
No, I don't. I meant more of, and I don't appreciate. I don't agree with this approach, except in maybe an extreme circumstance where we're literally talking at less than a handful of times during the season, where Mike is adamant. This is I think if we go Dillon Brooks in the starting lineup, this will serve us better because he can guard ...
Gotcha.
For this game.
Gotcha.
But not a situation where, okay, Harrison starts on Tuesday, Dillon starts on Thursday, like nothing like that. That to me, that screams instability. And I'm not good with that.
Right.
Start, you have a starting lineup, like ride with that. Looking up at Bobby Marks right now, talking about the Sacramento Kings. Got Draymond Green, Jeremy Grant, Harrison Barnes, PJ Washington. Oh, look who's there at the bottom.
Wow.
Miles Bridges as power forwards. Again, Miles Bridges, though, is a restricted free agent.
And also on this screen, look where they have Keegan Murray as a small forward. They have Keegan as a small forward and Harrison as a power forward.
They do. We don't have a center on this team.
We don't.
We have two shooting guards, and I just noticed Malik Monk was up there.
Yeah,
They had Malik Monk in that position, I guess, with Harrison out.
Now, Yeah, but also I think that's kind of like Davion's not on there. I was about to be like, it's almost like the only people that are under contract. Davion wasn't on there.
Yeah.
But they have what, 7 guys?
It could have just been
contract?
listing their top
players
like Davion. Kessler Edwards, the team option thing I think is due tomorrow. Well, tomorrow, like everything starts Friday, so any option that hasn't been exercised, team or player, is at the absolute latest, I believe, tomorrow. And that includes Kessler Edwards. The Sacramento Kings have to make a decision on Kessler Edwards by tomorrow.
Yeah. I find it interesting that Keegan Murray is listed as a small forward on there. Feels like there may be the Kings, because that's not the first time I've seen that or heard that. It feels like the Kings maybe are kind of pushing towards him being a 3 and being a guy that's more on the wing and handles the ball a little bit more as opposed to just a catch and shoot guy.
What do you think? Domas is a power forward? So that's what they had him listed as.
Not here for the Kings. No. Maybe in a perfect world, maybe he is. Like if you had a starting center on your roster, maybe you put Domas at the 4.
Maybe they didn't really think that graphic through.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
maybe it's that. Let's get the closing arguments with Kamara here. 916-909-1320. What's up, Kamara?
Fellas, what's up? So last night when the news kind of broke with the whole King switching directions, I was actually happening to be on the phone with my boy. Damon, you and I have talked offline about my guy who works at Washington Wizards, and we were talking at length about old buddy, with the Wizards, and so his thing was like, I don't know if I see the Kings signing him, so primarily because he just doesn't. He rings for a guy that's looking for a higher payday, not necessarily to fit in a role of a 3rd or 4th starter.
Might have found it.
As soon as he said that, and as soon as he said it, that's when the news that literally the text message came through with James Harden and him and then your messages, and he was like, and I forwarded to him as we were on the phone. He was like, yes. He's like, I see him going for a bigger payday. Not to say he doesn't change, not to say he won't change, and I say his priorities doesn't change, but he said he's already won his title. He's looking for All-Star games. This guy is he's looking for All-Stars and whatnot. So just wanted to kind of offer that little perspective. Like, this is all speculative. Nobody really knows. Again, now the person I'm talking to, they work within the front office and whatnot, and so they deal with them. But people always have assessments of players that may or may not be correct. And so I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts into what I just laid out to you?
Yeah, it's on point. I'll tell you this. When we first inquired about Kyle Kuzma, a while ago, like, hey, what do you think the chances is? Just looking at the market, we were told something almost identical to what Kamara just said. I don't think Kuzma fits there. Like, I don't think that's what he's looking for. It's not a knock on Sacramento. It's certainly not a knock on the Sacramento Kings. It's just, we don't think that's what he's looking for in the league right now. And you said something earlier, and I'll piggyback it. You said, don't overthink things. And I tweeted this morning, just follow the money.
Follow the money.
Just follow the money. And when Friday rolls around, you'll be able to connect some of these dots.
Yeah.
But, what we were told, what Kamara was told, and just the simplicity of it all. Don't overthink things. Just follow the money.
Yep. And, Kyle Kuzma, if he's not at that point in his career, I mean, that's fine too. I thought maybe he was, but
hey, he won a title at Disney World. Maybe that's all he needs. Hey, some people are easy.
The ring shines the same way as it did if he didn't win it at Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse Arena.
Hey,
so it's all good.
Video boards everywhere.
I like
who was Russell Westbrook's? He was about to fight someone's brother.
I think Rondo.
Rondo,
Yeah.
that's what it was. That's a great gift too. Great gift. Shout out John Poles. R.I.P. to yesterday's show.
Oh man, it was a good one.
That was a good one.
Hell of a
It's
show.
not really one you want to listen to on demand, though, boy. I'll tell you that show had an expiration date of yesterday. You cut that avocado open, man, it's gonna be brown. Don't even mess with it.
No, you don't need to be. I don't like avocados.
Yeah, that's one of your wild food quirks. That's
Jazz
crazy.
loves
to me.
avocado. I think Reese
literally eat them joints every day. Let's get Sam in here. 916-909-1320. Always good to hear from you, Sam.
Hey, boys. How you doing today?
Good, man. How you doing?
Hey, good. Hey, listen, it doesn't take a radio host to figure out that either they're asking Harrison Barnes, you either have one more year, and that means step it up next year with over your stats, or, we're going to do whatever, because that's the only question. It doesn't, it's very simple. And then, I went to a lot of games, and I never went home and said, oh, boy, Harrison Barnes did this or he did that. It was Sabonis, it was Fox, it was Malik Monk, it was whoever.
Yeah.
So, Harrison Barnes was basically a nothing to the fans, and he's okay on what he's doing. But, they're either going to say, hey, can you get one more year, or he can't? That's the question. Gentlemen, have a great day.
Appreciate you. It sounds like Sam's back at Sky River.
I was about
Casino.
to say, back at it again.
Yeah, he's at Sky River, and that's the way we're going to say it. He's at Sky River Casino. Shams Charania of the Chicago Bulls and center Nikola Vucevic are nearing a 3-year, $60 million contract extension.
Wow. $20 million a year?
Yeah. Just let that linger. Vucevic, 3 years.
Big Vucevic.
$60 million
Mm-hmm.
for the Chicago Bulls. Just let it linger. All right, Chicago. Hey, do you?
They say we got to do something.
I guess. I guess. Are they? I can't imagine they're. Can't imagine they're in on Fred VanVleet. Like, they need someone to, with Lonzo out, you probably want to step up that point guard position. I guess maybe you're going to go at it for half a season, see where you look at with DeMar DeRozan, and if things go awry, if they're going really bad, all right, we'll get DeMar somewhere and finish out this season, and then we've got a lot of things to address, namely the long-term health in our direction with our point guard,
and you
the guy who's supposed to be our franchise point guard.
You figure out a way or what you're going to do, not only with DeMar DeRozan, but with Zach LaVine. You're going to move forward with him because he's somebody that probably could get you a good return if you decided to move on from him.
Yeah.
So
didn't expect that.
I don't know what to expect from Chicago.
This is a good point too.
I don't know what to expect from Chicago.
No,
so anything would be like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Sam,
is that the only extension we'll announce today? Dum dum dum.
Sam brought up something though that I want to talk about when we get back. Kind of alluded to it before, but I'll get into it this time.
Okay, let's do that. Well, when D'Lo and KC return here, D'Lo and KC brought to you by Sky River Casino, where Sam just was. Can't tell me otherwise. Here on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320. Oh man,
did you see Zion's dunk video that came out yesterday?
I did, yeah.
He didn't get up as high as he used to. Is it just me, or did he not get up as high as he used to? No, I think he had full clothes on too. So,
maybe something else is weighing him down.
What?
Maybe you are the lady in my life.
Well, she's back in the news again. That's crazy. Yeah. Jeez.
I hear Houston may offer Fred VanVleet $35 to $40 million a year. If that happens, where would that leave Kuz? About 20. Yeah, they could still do it. Yeah, they could still do it.
Wow. Houston is a mess if they do that. They're an absolute mess. Fred VanVleet for 35. And it's not just him. It's like,
I think it's
you got
2 years, 86. What is the reported? 2 years, 82, 86 was the reported offer.
2 years, but you got Jalen Green, you got Kevin Porter Jr., you got one of the Thompson twins. Now, they're young guys, but I guess.
I mean, they got to do something with the money, though, right?
Man, Woj really texted like 5 minutes later. Woj's like, fuck it, I'm going to do it anyways.
What's this guy talking about, man?
Yeah, boy. Man, that dude is.
What's this guy talking about?
That dude is, man, that Friday can't come soon enough for a variety of different reasons. You ain't see your text?
What's this guy talking?
What's your favorite line? Bar for bar.
Where's this guy at, man? Where you been in Portland? Is that the week old news?
I about fell out when Trista said Portland media is trash. Oh man. What the hell is going on here?
Money in the Bank on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I had no idea until Jesse told me.
I think I don't know. If I'm around, I'll watch it, I guess.
Why is it starting at 1 o'clock? Where is it?
Because it's in London.
Oh, okay.
So, 8 o'clock there or something like that.
Okay. That's fine. I'm fine with that.
Unless they wanted to put them in the middle of the night.
Oh, man. 916-909-1320. We'd love for you to be a part of the conversation. That's one way to do it. You could jump on the live stream as well. The video stream, I should say, twitch.tv/ESPN1320, youtube.com/ESPN1320. Let's hit these phone lines, 916-909-1320. Hit our man TC. TC, what's going on, baby? TC.
Then my eyes was lying to you.
Oh, this is TD. Is it TD or TC?
TD.
TD, my bad, brother. My bad, Terrence, what's up, Terrence?
Sensational.
My bad, brother. I'm so used to seeing TC. I assume that's what it said. I can't read.
I'm not the ball player now. Don't confuse me, man.
I got you.
I'm just a listener. I enjoy listening to you guys. Thanks for having me on your show.
Oh man, we appreciate you, man.
Just a couple observations. I saw the headline on the YouTube thing, so I love Harrison Barnes. He's a great community guy and all the above. A terrific ball player, but I followed that with a but. It seemed to me like in watching this great season that they had, it seemed like the playoffs neutralized his game. I say that because during the regular season, the referees were calling all that contact, which is what seemed to be the key to his game, was the contact that he was part of, as he makes his drives to the basket, and the referees would make that call for him. But in the playoffs, the referees were not making that call for him. They were not giving him. And then the other challenge to his game is that if you're going to do the contact, you got to get the and one. And so
his game was getting neutralized because the referees were not calling the fouls that he's accustomed to getting called, and then he wasn't hitting that basket through the contact.
So let me ask you a quick question, TD. You're not in on this idea of HB coming back?
For when it comes to the playoffs, I have to say no, because he showed us what playoff. If the referees are going to not make the call for you in the playoffs, and you're looking for the call, so you, for that split second, you stop playing because the referees didn't make that call that they normally would make.
Okay. Can I can tell you definitively, I did not notice this before. This is the first time I'm like putting these numbers together. I just have not paid attention to this at all. Do you know how many rebounds Harrison had in that series?
In the series, like total rebounds or average?
No, the series.
15.
He had 11.
Yo,
he had 11 rebounds. Oh, he had 11 rebounds and 2 assists in 5 games.
The sneaky thing about Harrison in these playoffs is in games 5, 6, and 7, Mike Brown essentially was like, I can't go with this guy. Like, I'll see what he has, but yeah, I got to get Monk in here. I got to get TD in here. I got to get some other guys in here. He played in
15 minutes in game 7, 15 in game 6.
Game 5, he played a lot. Game 5, he played 33. Game 6, when the season was on the line, 15 minutes. Once again, in game 7, season on the line, 14 minutes. So, so this goes kind of into how I look at Harrison Barnes coming back for the Kings. I believe that Harrison Barnes, especially when you talk about the regular season, is just fine. He's just fine, right? Like him coming back, I expect 48 wins.
My bad. Game 1. Hold on. I was off on something. Game 1 was blocked out. He rebounded well in games 1 and 2.
7 and 6.
Yeah, he rebounded well in games 1 and 2, and then it was the last 5 games of the series that he couldn't rebound.
He played well in games 1 or 2, and then that was it. That was it. He didn't.
So
play
what's
well
that say then? What's that say?
I'll tell you what this says. In the regular season, he's going to be fine. He's going to do what he does. The playoffs are a crapshoot, and this is what it means for the Sacramento Kings if Harrison Barnes is there. Everybody else has to improve. Domas has to, when you talked about like getting a little bit better, Domas probably got to be 20 and 13 or 20 and 12 and a half again. De'Aaron Fox probably has to be closer to 26, 27 points per game. Kevin Huerter's got to be better. Keegan Murray has to make a jump in his second year. He's got to go from 12 points to maybe 14, 15. Because Harrison, for better or for worse, I don't expect him to step his game up. He's going to be who he is. 15 points, 4 rebounds, 2 or 3 assists. He's going to give you that. It's not the worst thing in the world. I'm not saying it as if it is. But the other guys that we had talked about coming in here, I thought they would elevate that position on both sides of the ball. And that would allow maybe Fox to average 25 and it'd be okay. Or Huerter to, like, it would either let these guys improve at their own pace, or if they didn't improve at all, you had somebody picking up the slack. I don't think Harrison is going to do that. So that is going to leave these other guys. They're going to have to step their game up if they want to reach another level next season with this team.
Are we overreacting in evaluating this playoff series? Again, 13-7, 13-6 in games 1 and 2, which they won by 3, they won by 8. He has 17 and just 1 rebound in a game that they lose by 17. Of course, there's the game. There's the game 4 where the Kings lose by 1. He plays 30 minutes in that one. He's 3 of 11. He's 1 of 6 from 3. None of that would have mattered if he was 2 of 6 from 3. They lose game 5 by 7. They win by 19. Doesn't play a lot in that one. Lose by 20. Doesn't play a lot in that one.
I mean,
I don't know.
His numbers were anemic in the postseason, just for that series, for what you need. 10.7 points, 3.4 rebounds, 0.7 assists. Shot 41% from the field, 24% from beyond the arc. I mean, that's not going to get it done. If that's what you're getting in the playoffs, you're going to need a lot of people to step up, and they didn't, right? So, like, even with all that being said, this is why I'm not like, oh, it's a death blow if he's there. Harrison Barnes did not play well whatsoever in the playoffs, and if Kevin Huerter does what he does in a regular season, they probably win that series. If Sabonis plays just a little bit better, they probably win that series. So it's not a death blow, but Harrison Barnes doesn't allow for those type of series from Huerter or Sabonis. He's not going to pick up the slack. He's not going to cover these guys when they're struggling. And I'm not trying to say that to disparage him. I'm just saying he's going to give you what he gives you. In this series, it was actually below that, but I'll even look at that as an anomaly. He's going to give you 14 to 15 points a night, 4 rebounds, 2 assists.
Okay. With the exception of Atlanta and Philadelphia, in 2021, Kevin Huerter's playoff series looked kind of like last year's.
Yeah, but how many playoff series is it?
With last year,
3.
He's played a total of,
well, not series. I'm sorry, playoff seasons, right? Like, so he's
played a total of
3
5
times.
series. He's been to the playoffs 3 times.
Yeah, he's 24 years old.
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I heard other people talking about that as well, and I'm not ready to put that on Kevin Huerter.
I'm not putting anything on him.
No, I'm not saying you are.
I'm just saying, like, if we're
going
going to be critical of who played poorly in the postseason last year, let's not just hang this all on Harrison Barnes.
Absolutely not. Kevin Huerter.
Let's look at what
atrocious.
Kevin Huerter did, and let's look at what Kevin Huerter has done in his career. And like, if we're so certain Kevin Huerter is going to be better next year, well, maybe it's a bit unfair.
We're not certain he's going to be better.
Okay,
but I think there's a possibility for him to get better.
And there's no possibility Harrison Barnes is better next year.
What shows you he would be better?
I don't know. I'm just.
He's
asking.
going to be like it's been who he's been his entire career, pretty much, in these roles. Like and it's not even bad. I'm not even saying like it's a bad thing.
Warriors Clippers in 14 was a little rocky. Well, the finals in 15 wasn't the best.
And I'm not even looking just like at play. I'm just talking about even regular season. It's gonna be 15 points a game. 4 rebounds.
But I thought we established the regular season isn't the issue with Harrison.
I mean, I don't. It's in the regular season. If you want to improve where you were at, you're gonna need those other guys to step up. That's all. That's where that comes from. Playoffs, you hope that he's better than 10 points per game and 3 rebounds that he was in this series. You hope that he's better. I'll put it. All I'm saying is, I wouldn't put any stock in Harrison Barnes raising his game. That's not where I'm going to put my hopes and dreams at. He's gonna be solid to a no-show.
Well,
More times than not, he's going to be solid. More times, like that's the way. More times than not, he's going to be solid. There's a possibility that he's a no-show. I'd be surprised. Like, I'm surprised when he goes for like 25, because that's just not really in his game.
His first time in the playoffs, he was really good. In 2013,
Mm-hmm.
he was really good. But I guess that doesn't mean anything. Let's get Ryan in here. 916-909-1320. Listening to D-Lo and KC on KIFM West Sacramento, 98.5 FM, KRXQ HD2 Sacramento, ESPN 1320. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Ryan, what's happening, man?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
We good, man. How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. So I think for this Harrison Barnes talk, I think they definitely need an upgrade with him. But with last year, like, in fairness to Harrison Barnes, if he hit that one shot, it was either game 3 or game 4, I felt like that would have changed the whole narrative surrounding him. But I do agree that long term they do need something better. But what about Sasha? Like, is Sasha coming over? Because it feels like Harrison would do better to come off the bench and kind of be the leadership. I get worried about blowing up chemistry with too many changes.
Yeah,
I feel you. I would get the notion that Harrison's coming off the bench out of everybody's head.
I'd also chill with Sasha a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not depending on Sasha right now.
To answer Ryan's question, we don't know if Sasha's coming over. We think he is. There seems to be like some really strong indicators that he is. Don't do this though.
No.
Like don't put him. If he comes over and he winds up being the dude, fantastic.
Right.
Don't go in there with the expectations of what you watched on livestream.euroball. It's like that's what he's going to be in the NBA. It'd be dope if he is.
Right.
But let's chill our expectations.
I got pretty much no expectations for Sasha. Sasha's coming over here. And not saying that like he's not good. I'm just saying like I'm not putting any expectations on him. We'll see what happens when he gets here. I got to see his game in an NBA settings. I love his shot. I think he's a high IQ guy. And the proof is in the pudding with all of his accomplishments in EuroLeague.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to see what he looks like in the NBA. So I'm want him over here. I'd be glad to see him with the Kings. But I'm not putting any expectations on Sasha. Everything that we hear, he's coming in to be a backup. And I mean, that says a lot right there. That he's coming in to be a backup. Like I'm not saying he's him, or maybe it's an unfair comparison. They didn't come in saying Luka was going to be a backup. You know what I mean?
That is correct. That's not fair.
They didn't come in saying any of those guys are backup. So, he's coming in to be a backup. I'm going to give him backup expectations, until he shows otherwise. But HB, I mean, we even brought up Kevin Huerter. Aside from 1.6 points, all his numbers in the playoffs were better than Harrison. He had more rebounds, more assists, more blocks per game. Harrison, the crux of the argument of what I'm saying with Harrison is, I'm not going to look at Harrison and be like, he's going to elevate this team. These other guys are going to have to elevate their game. Whereas if Jeremy Grant, Kyle Kuzma, even OG came in, I could say, you know what? Fox could average 25 because OG's going to improve us here and he's going to step up. Domas could even maybe go 18 and 12 instead of 19 and 12 because OG's going to help. Keegan doesn't have to go from 12 to 16. He can go 12 to 14 and it'd be good because OG's here, Kyle's here. That's not how I feel with Harrison. Harrison's going to be who he is. These other guys have to step up their game if they're going to exceed what they did last year.
Let's get Big Al in here, 916-909-1320. What's going on, Big Al?
This is a King station, so I just wanted to reiterate and say, KC, you're right on. If I was Kings fan, I think you just say thank you, Harrison, for whatever you did in this contract stuff. But we'll get off of you.
Well, hold on. That's not what KC said.
Don't
do that. Don't do that. That's not what Kenny said.
That's not what I
do
said.
that.
I said I'm perfectly fine with him coming back. I have no problem with Harrison Barnes coming back. I'm just saying, if I'm looking at the roster, I think for these guys to take it to another level, these other guys are going to have to step up their game because I'm not expecting Harrison to do more than what he did last year. That's all I'm saying about Harrison.
I'm sorry. Now I'm going to insult you. That's just a weak way of saying I wish I could get off this guy and find somebody to be more productive for that money. All about the damn money, Casey, and you know that. Let's disagree. Let's agree to disagree.
No, I was just gonna say, Big Al, that's not. I don't think that's what that's saying because, yeah, I'm looking for other guys that I can get. But if I can't get them, then I can't get them. And I come back with Harrison Barnes, the season's not over. It didn't take a step backwards. I'm not even saying that they're going to be even to where they were last year. I'm saying if they want to improve, it's going to be on the other guys on this team to step up their game, because I don't think you're getting elevation from Harrison Barnes' game. He's going to be what he's been, which I'll continue to say isn't a bad thing. He's fine. He's solid. He's reliable. You can set your clock to what he's going to do. But if you want to improve, I thought these other guys that were on the table, they would be guys that would come in and help you improve. I don't know if Harrison does that. That puts the onus on these other guys to step up their game if you want to elevate where you past where you were last season.
Let's run through some of these names here real quick. I'm of the belief OG Anunoby improves the Sacramento Kings. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm of the belief OG Anunoby would have improved the Sacramento Kings. There would have been no chemistry loss, no chemistry flows. Not saying Harrison wouldn't have been missed. Not saying he didn't have a locker room presence. Not saying he didn't have a calming presence. But I think there was a lot OG Anunoby could have done, especially on the defensive end, to help this team. I don't believe that's realistic anymore. Let's go to Kyle Kuzma.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Kuzma. Any concerns with if Kyle Kuzma was the guy?
Mm-hmm.
No chemistry concerns there. No concerns about stability. No concerns about would someone else have to take the role of the calming influence? Would that have to be Domas or De'Aaron? Would someone else have to be Mr. 82 game consistency, like that type of level of consistency?
No concern. And I'll tell you real quick. I'll tell you why. Because now that's Domas and De'Aaron's time.
Okay,
like it's not Harrison. That's fine. That's done. That's when you have the babies and the kids in the locker room. These are grown men now. These are leaders. These are all-stars. It's their franchise. That's who the calming influence is. That's the leader of the locker room. It's not Harrison Barnes anymore. So I don't worry about that. And I don't worry about Cuz if he were to come. Kuz. I think he'd be fine.
Okay.
And I think it improves the team.
Offensively.
Mm-hmm. Defensively, rebounding wise. And I think defensively, Tristan's talked about it the other day. I think he gets a little bit of a raw deal defense. He's not locked down, but he's not a turnstile the way people make him out to be.
So we're positive, should the Sacramento Kings make the decision to bring Harrison Barnes back, that it's not a mistake?
We're positive that it's not a mistake. Yeah, I think it's fine. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. It's not my first option, but if I had to go there, it's fine.
What's your first option?
My first option is probably Jeremy Grant,
which is probably unrealistic given Portland's ridiculousness right now.
Right.
Because in order for them to do what they're telling Dame they're going to do and what they're saying publicly they're going to do, they have to re-sign Jeremy Grant.
Yeah,
they can't let him leave.
My second would be Kuzma over OG, just because Kuzma's a free agent signing, and you wouldn't have to give up anything in the trade that you would for OG. So second would be Kuz. Then for me, OG and Harrison are pretty close.
Who and Harrison are pretty close?
Like as far as like the pecking order of where I would bring the guy back, because the whole trade aspect for OG, I'm not a big fan of. I don't want to give up Davion Mitchell. Maybe now you can absorb contract now that Rashawn Holmes isn't in there, so you don't have to give as many players.
Toronto's interested in that,
right? And they talking about Keegan and all that. Like, no, it's okay.
There's a report about Jordan Poole out there this morning.
Man,
they said that they said no to.
The Warriors are going to allegedly going to some great lengths to justify that Jordan Poole trade. They had another story about Jordan Poole out.
What was that? I missed it.
That he was something about, like, forgot the exact words they said, but he basically he was a problem.
Jeez. Do you know who it came from?
It was
Tim Kawakami. Someone at The Athletic?
I'll find it.
That's such trash. I'd be a problem too.
Yeah.
Man, Tristo talking about Portland media. Boy, that Warriors media, that's a special group up there. That's a special group up there. Well, we'll see what Sacramento. Let me try that again. We'll see what else Sacramento does. If Harrison winds up being the guy, all right, let's see what they do next. How are you going to follow that up? Maintain and improve. What you going to do next?
I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, this is, you called it, Tim Kawakami.
Why am I not surprised?
What's clear to me after a few days of checking around is that this all began when the Warriors decided that Poole was extraneous and inefficient member of their roster, wrote Tim Kawakami of The Athletic.
He's such a tool, dude.
That was the precipitating issue. The Warriors wanted out of a $123 million deal. They gave Poole only 8 months earlier because his play last season didn't meet that value, especially given their extreme luxury tax pressures. They knew he wanted a bigger role, and they knew that that almost certainly wouldn't happen as long as Steph Curry and Klay Thompson were on the team.
Yeah, man, they putting in that work. They putting in that work to justify. I can't wait for the Draymond Green announcement. I think that's the thing, even more so than what the Kings do. I think I'm just as excited for the Draymond Green $90 to $100 million announcement. I'm so excited for that.
I can't wait for that one. We playing celebrate on that.
And then when he gets benched, when he takes himself out of the starting lineup in a meaningful game because he thinks it's best for the team, and then Steve Kerr accidentally lets it slip 2 games later that they were lying. I can't wait for that.
I just don't know why they got to do Jordan Poole like that. Like why? And that's what I said. Where the trade offer, the turn that feels like that came from the Warriors side.
Yeah. By the way, what's that say about your beloved Bob Myers? Because who signed Jordan Poole to this extension? If all of a sudden you've got this kid who's a problem and he doesn't fit in and he wants too much, y'all committed $28 million to him, 120 something million dollars to him. He never even got into that contract. And you're quick to blame Jordan Poole, but everybody's looking the other way when it comes to your general manager. Sacramento would never. We talk about Vlade for years if he did that.
Right.
Come on, man. That's trash.
Yeah,
that's such trash. I hate when media people do that. I hate when organizations do that. You traded him. You trashed him for an entire year. You blamed him for all of your problems. And now you're rubbing salt in the wound after he's gone.
Uncalled for.
Trash. Absolute garbage. We'll come back. What else is absolute garbage? At least many people feel it is who won't be in attendance at Monday's California Classic.
Oh, come on.
Let it be known, though, you have the opportunity to be in attendance at Monday's California Classic by going to the contest page over at ESPN1320.com. You can enter to win 4 tickets to both days of the California Classic, again, by going to the contest page at ESPN1320.com. We'll talk more about Victor Wembanyama at the California Classic. We'll talk more Kings basketball. We'll talk more NBA basketball when D'Lo and Casey return here on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320.
With the Barnes stuff, it's probably not an issue because he's fine or whatever. The Kings will be fine. They'll win 45 games or whatever. But isn't it a problem because you didn't get better in the offseason? You're just running it back. Sasha, who knows what he's going to be? Bringing back Trey Lyles, that's not going to do anything. Well, you just didn't improve.
One of the hopes are, number one, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Number two, one of the hopes is that Keegan Murray gets better, improves.
That's a hope.
It's a hope. It's a hope.
I mean, we said that about Davion. I don't think Davion got better last year.
He did, though. Statistically.
He did?
Everything was up.
Okay.
Except for minutes per game. That's the only thing and points per game. All his percentages were up. He just didn't get the opportunities that he got when it was a dumpster fire and Fox had a sore ankle and you know what I mean? So that's why the points per game were down.
I didn't watch Davion last year feeling like he got better. I love Davion. I didn't watch him last year feeling like he got better.
I mean, grander, looking at the broader picture, he's still a really good defensive player with a weak offensive game.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, so I don't think he really changed either.
He also.
Well, yeah, I wasn't insinuating he got worse.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't think he got better. Like, he's still the same player, basically, I think.
He also was dealing with a different role this past year. With Mike Brown coming in, and like I said, the playing time and the minutes were so spotty. Maybe that played a role into it as well. But that also goes in this, and this is something. It's something we don't necessarily know. People just walking around pointing and doing. It's crazy in here right now, to be honest with you. But you can only do what you can do. If you're out there making a pitch or talking to people, and somebody like Kyle Kuzma chooses Houston because he wants to shoot more, there's nothing you could do about that.
Yeah.
And then you try. I think the crime would be in saying, no, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to, go with Harrison and play it safe.
Yeah.
They tried to move the money. They tried to create the space to do some stuff. And if that results in, the restricted free agents being matched, Kyle Kuzma saying, I want to go to Houston, Toronto saying, we're not doing a deal with you unless we get Keegan. Like, there's only so much you're in control of. Yeah. I guess is what I'm saying. Look at Jimmy G.
Handsome son of a bitch. Look at him.
Oh, man. Raiders are going to be last again.
This is our daily NFL show. Oh, good.
They had a ranking the other day of like the teams with the top playmakers or something like that. Forgot exactly what it was. I think the Niners were first.
Torrance, pick whatever your favorite player was there at 24. And it doesn't matter who it is. Pick whoever your favorite player was. What do you think their role would have been with the team this year? Just 100% just curious. For some people, it was Omax. Omax was like, that's the guy I wanted. But the collective bargaining agreement is, did I read that was 600 pages?
Oh, man.
No wonder nobody knows what the hell's going on.
And
676
is it still not
pages.
finished? Or
no, it's done.
They just finished. They
no,
must
it's
have
done.
just finished it.
Yeah.
This morning or something.
Yeah. It goes into effect Saturday. They just finished it today. No wonder no one ever knows. It was shared with all 30 teams today. They ain't reading it. 676. Come on, man. Like, what is there to explain? 676 pages. Lord. No, I'm just asking. That's all I'm just asking. All right. Chatty House is testy today.
Oh, they are. Everybody's testy because Harrison's coming back. I'm not testy.
Come on, man.
I'm not testy, man. I got love for HB, as I said on Instagram.
Hey, let's see how this all plays out.
Yeah, he might not be coming back.
Let's see how it all plays out. Vucevic announced an extension.
Mm-hmm.
Nas Reed announced an extension.
Mm-hmm.
Harrison Barnes hasn't. Just wait to see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get Alex here. 916-909-1320. Always appreciate your call, Alex. What's going on, man?
Getting spicy. Love this time of year. New article I see on ESPN today. Victor Wembanyama measuring in officially at 7'3.5". Maybe not the 7'5" listed. Interesting point of view, being the first pick in the draft. He does have an 8-foot wingspan. A player by the name of Manute Bol, or Bobo's son. Manute Bol's son. Went undrafted with Denver, 7'2", 220 pounds. He has a 7'8" wingspan, so 4 inches. But we talk about a player that we've never seen before. There might be a player who's just not on the floor, but is already in the NBA.
Oh boy, that take.
Why does everybody keep talking about Bol?
That take is I don't know what
He's not
started
available or anything, right? Like
I saw
last 3 days, people have been talking about Bol Bol.
I saw Sheldon Williams tweet about it. It's like, wait, what are we doing right now? Oh, like, no, Wembanyama is nice. Yo, but Bol Bol been doing it. Like, wait a second. You're telling me just everybody has just missed the generational talent that is Bol Bol? This is like a social media phenom that has gotten completely out of control. They're tall. Calm down. Bol Bol can move.
Bol Bol
Absolutely.
is nice. He's
skills.
impressive. He got all that
You're
stuff.
telling me everybody missed it. Victor Wembanyama ain't been in the league. He just ain't playing. It's Bol Bol. Y'all need to stop it. Alex, stop it. Sheldon, stop it. All of you.
Yeah, man.
Stop it.
And like I said, Bol Bol, that's my guy.
This
I
is like
Bol Bol, but
this is like the new Kuminga 7-2. It's gotten out of control.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why Bol Bol keeps coming up though.
I don't either.
And they were like in the chat, like the last 2 Kings need to go get Bol Bol. He's not a free agent. I don't think.
Why?
But where's this coming from?
How do you propose that? I don't understand. It's so bizarre.
He can go. I remember last year in that De'Aaron Fox buzzer beater game, Bol Bol was killing the Kings. He's a problem. The guy can hoop. He's had injury concerns. That's why he hasn't been on the floor as much. And he's still a young guy. He's trying to figure out his game, but I just don't know why he keeps.
I love Sheldon. Sheldon Williams is my guy. 33,000 followers, Duke legend, numbers up in the rafters. Listen, I understand the hype on Wembanyama, but Bol Bol, when given the opportunity, is something similar. That tweet got Cattle's like engagement. Just no one interested in what Sheldon Williams had to say. Just okay. Here's day 2 of tweeting every day until Sacramento Kings get Bol Bol, the real Wemby. The hell?
Who said that?
So, Thrill House.
Where is this coming from? So maybe
NBA
I missing something? Is he a free agent? I don't know what's going on. Why does this keep coming up?
NBA, maybe NBA meme started it in a tweet that's been seen 4.1 million times. NBA memes has a Twitter following of about 500,000.
Wow.
A picture of Bol Bol. What can Wembanyama do that Bol Bol can't? 1,100 quote tweets on that one.
I don't
know.
Confused.
Maybe they started it.
I'm just confused. But taking it another step further, why do Kings fans keep saying we need to get Bol? Like he's not a free agent.
I don't know. How many years Bol Bol got left?
Maybe he is. I don't know. I didn't think he was.
I don't think
but
he
people
does.
talking about him like he's a free. Like we can't get him.
He's got a non-guaranteed year on his contract this season.
So if he gets cut by the Magic,
it's fully guaranteed on the 30th. So in 2 days.
Oh, so they have a decision to make right now.
Yeah.
All this hype, you can't pay for this type of hype. That's worth the 2.2 million right there.
And let me say that if they cut him, yes, I would love for the Kings to take a shot at Bol Bol. I like his game.
I think it's just the unknown people are in love with. I mean, that's why Kings should take a look at Jonathan Isaac every year.
I wanted the Kings to draft. I think that was Vladdy. I wanted him to draft Bol Bol. Bol Bol went late in the second round. I think Vladdy passed him twice for Justin James and Kyle Guy. I was like, well, damn it.
I don't remember those.
I was like, damn, at least take a shot on him. Now, I think it was known he wasn't going to play the first year. He had injuries and all this other stuff, but
he was the original Wemby. Damn,
he can go. Like he's got the skill set, but I don't understand it.
Polo says, Bol Bol, welcome to Sacramento. Social media is so weird sometimes. Anyways, this is where I thought Alex was going. He took us in an entirely different direction that I wasn't prepared for. Mark Spears confirmed, or I guess the Spurs confirmed, Victor Wembanyama will not play in the California Classic. Victor Wembanyama won't even be bothered to travel to Sacramento.
Oh, come on.
He'll meet up with the team in Las Vegas for the marquee matchup against Brandon Miller on Friday night, which we won't be in attendance at.
Don't remind me.
Sorry. It's too late.
It's a
I've
sore
already
spot.
said it. Oh, you telling me. You are telling me.
Since
but yeah,
January. Since January.
maybe they needed more notice. I don't know. We've been pushing stuff for 2 years that they just look at us dumping. They want to have a meeting over. All right. Yeah, Victor Wembanyama won't be bothered to come to Sacramento. He'll meet up with the San Antonio Spurs in Las Vegas.
Not all that surprised.
Nah,
I
me
mean,
either.
it's a little strange that he's not traveling, but whatever. No big deal.
I'll say that. I did think he'd be here.
Yeah, I thought he would too.
Just for no other reason than
it's like 2 days before you go to Vegas.
Y'all stay on the same flight. Like, it's easy work. What's the problem?
Right.
Even if you didn't play, you practice or something.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't want to be humiliated by the Sacramento Kings California Classic team. I don't even know if they play each other on Wednesday night.
Kada, do they play each other? I
No
think the
idea.
Kings play the Warriors and the Lakers.
I saw Bonte punk out.
Yeah, he said he ain't pulling up. All right.
I heard Bonte and Butch talk about me too. Don't think I missed that.
Well,
I heard him.
What lies? I mean,
I heard him.
LV this. I mean, look at the shirt today.
I heard fluffing out his capri pants. All right, Butch. I see you.
I missed that. I heard that on it when I listened back. I heard that.
We need to send our engineer team to San Francisco to fix their stream. They got you on the earbuds.
I was like,
but like you're on
what we're doing.
You're on the video, but you're on the phone, and it's like, come on, man. Or the little sister station there in San Francisco. You need Sacramento to help you out. Like, we'll send our people up there. We'll get you guys cooking. You'll be fine.
You know, I could just be on the stream.
I don't know why it's so bizarre because it just sounds like dog crap. It sounds horrendous. And you're watching like, the hell is this?
Yeah, I was like, okay, is this how we're doing it? All right.
Don't we share the same engineer team, for God's sake?
Like we do.
Well, y'all ain't getting Jonathan from us, I'll tell you that.
No, man, he's staying with us.
And y'all keeping Draymond Green. So let's backtrack here. Jesse posed this question before the show, and I thought it was a good one. You're talking about the improvement of guys like Keegan Murray, the improvement of guys who need to take like a little bit of a step up if Harrison is going to be around long term, just because you don't really believe that Harrison is going to be that guy. We know what Harrison Barnes is.
Mm-hmm. Once again, not a bad thing.
No, I got you.
What it is.
I got you. Absolutely. And I couldn't agree more. If Trey Lyles is back, and I think we believe he is, we certainly hope that he is. If Sasha does come over, is that enough? Or does Sacramento, does Monty, does that front office group, do they need to cook up a little something with that second unit?
With the second unit, that's enough. I mean, I know we're probably going to need a backup five.
I was going to say, you hate talking about the backup center position.
And
according to that ESPN graphic, we don't even got a center. We got 3 shooting guards and 2 power forwards.
Just go get somebody. Like, I say Dwight, but they're not going to do that. But that's also if you don't think Kada can get the job done. You may have your backup center.
Do you need a third?
There with you.
At that point, it probably doesn't matter. Like
yeah.
at that point, if you think Kada can be your backup center, that's what matters the most. The second position is what matters the most.
Right. So I think the bench.
I mean, Kada could be Jokic. She's just not getting playing time.
Well, Wemby don't want.
I wonder if we could get that trending like someone did with Bull. That was just someone's idea. Like, I wonder if we could get Bull. Yeah. Oh, there it is. I mean, what's the difference between Neemias Queta and like Jokic doesn't fit? We need another big Joel. What's the difference between Neemias Queta and Joel Embiid?
Been doing all the things.
One gets playing time.
I think the bench is fine though. When you talk about Davion, we always forget Malik Monk is on the bench.
I don't forget that.
Davion, Malik. Well, just like
when was the last time you see me not throw up the sideways 3?
No. I mean, I feel like, and even maybe Sacramento ESPN thinks of him as like a starter.
Well, I think it's because they took Harrison out. So they threw because they had Harrison on the free agent side, and they threw.
They should have put Kessler Edwards there because we're not going.
They probably don't have a picture of Kessler Edwards to put up there. To be honest with you, I don't know.
But that's a bench guy. Davion and Monk, those are bench guys. You bring Trey Lyles back. You get Sasha over here. I think your bench is fine. To be quite honest, that's the bench you had last year, and it was successful.
Mm-hmm.
So you got your rookie. You got Kobe Jones. You got Kessler Edwards. Kata. I think the bench is fine.
Jalen, who I think is 32, will probably be a two-way player.
That reminds me. We're in trouble around here. Gina was not happy we did not spend enough time on Jalen. Gina.
Oh, Gina.
Yeah, in the sales department.
Oh, Gina wasn't.
Yeah,
what?
She was not happy.
Why is that?
Well, she's an alumni of Furman.
Oh, okay.
So she very familiar with Slauson, and she said, "I almost called in because you guys just glossed by him."
She walked by the door 47 times. Now I guess now we know why. She could have just opened the door and said, "Hey, talk about my guy." All right.
That's what I said. You call in.
Yeah, sorry.
She
Gina.
said she was excited to see him here. Excited to see. She said you guys didn't even talk about him.
Well, that generally happens with pick 50, 4 or 5. Like, sorry. Damn, Gina.
Hey, this is a hell of a call right here. Damn it, Gina. Now I'm mad. Jamar T for 3. That's a hell of a call. That's the specific episode, right? Damn it, Gina. Now I'm mad.
I wish I loved Martin quotes as much as everybody else.
That's a good one.
I told you I watched it back. Oh, I watched it when we were in Atlanta.
Oh,
it was on,
just repeat. Over and over.
Yeah. It's like, oh.
Some of them are corny. Some of them still make me.
Oh, some of them are very funny.
Yeah.
Some of them are very.
But some of them was like, nah, this don't hit the same.
Some were like, this is silly.
But that particular episode, that's the moment when he goes, baby, Gina, no. I think that was the first episode. That is still hilarious. You can go step. I don't even want to see you. Gina, baby, no. I'm sorry.
916-909-1320. Let's talk to Mitch. Mitch,
hey,
what's your favorite episode of Martin?
There's so many good ones, but I can't remember specifically.
Okay. LeBron.
I'm more of a Seinfeld King of Queens guy.
That doesn't surprise me, Mitch. That doesn't surprise me at all.
Because,
King of Queens is a good show.
I lived the King of Queens. My wife is pretty good looking, and she's from Brooklyn, not Queens.
Okay.
And Seinfeld, my favorite episode. Come on, you can admit it. You watch Playing Seinfeld. The masseuse is my favorite one. My favorite line is when George says to Jerry at the end, "Jerry, this girl hates me so much, I'm beginning to like it." And we can all relate to that.
No.
We always want what we can't have, right? We always want what we can't have. Come on.
No. Mitch, no. Like I firmly disagree on that. But okay.
No, we always disagree. Only we agree on that we're both short. All right.
Well, wait a minute. Who the hell are you talking to, Mitch? Mitch, how tall are you?
I'm 5'6".
You don't group me up as someone who's 5'6".
Oh, okay. I tell you what.
You a wild dude, Mitch.
I know. When I was a sophomore in high school, I was 5 feet tall, 116 pounds. You probably don't remember the last time you were 116 pounds and 5 feet tall.
Why are you getting that?
I made my mom take me to the doctor. Doctor says there's nothing we can do for you. I ran out crying. But anyway, I hope we can get Kuzma and Grant Williams and even trade for Anthony Melton. Make it happen. Make the phone call.
He wants Anthony Melton.
He really does.
He loves him like I love Cam Reddish.
So he wants Kuz and Grant Williams.
Probably get Grant with the MLE or whatever, about 12 million.
Boston's mashing that, aren't they?
I don't know.
Are they moving on, really?
I haven't really. Well, he said the other day like it's still open. He's still open to coming back to Boston and stuff. But I don't think it's happening unless he's super cheap. Where he's like maybe 10 $12 million.
What do you think about Grant Williams?
He's cool. He's cool. I don't have no issue with it. I don't know where he necessarily fits with this group. If you bring back, I'd rather have Trey Lyles. But if you're bringing back Trey Lyles and you're bringing Sasha, I don't know where Grant Williams fits.
I think he'd be an upgrade over Trey big time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he plays defense much better than Trey, and they both shoot the three.
For how many games a year?
I don't. He'll play if he comes off the bench. I don't think he's not some injury prone player.
Grant
will give like if you bring Grant to the Kings, like he'll give you something on.
So
defense.
Why don't Boston want him then?
They're already good without him. Like he's not really something like he's not like a big need or something like that.
I'd rather have Trey over Grant Williams. I think they're about the
Grant
same.
Williams.
I could even understand somebody saying that Grant Williams is better. He's a good ball player.
Trey better.
But I like Trey. I like Trey better.
Trey
I don't know what
shooter.
See, that's the thing. I feel like Trey's a better 3-point shooter, but Grant Williams can shoot.
It might be close. Yeah, so like I'm not sure.
Yeah, I would take Grant. Hey, real quick on the Mitch review call. I mean, I do like King of Queens. I'm not crazy about Seinfeld.
He got. I don't mind Seinfeld. I've seen Seinfeld.
Seinfeld's cool. It's cool.
He was.
I'm not going crazy over it the way
Black people
everybody
don't watch
else is.
Seinfeld. Like what was he talking about?
Nah,
come on, you've seen it. You've seen it. Like yeah, Mitch, I've seen it. I just can't relate to the line that you used. She hates me so much. I'm starting to like her.
Yeah, that's a Seinfeld line.
Okay.
I like King of Queens. They got my girl. I never know her real name, but that's my girl, Stacey Carosi. That's really who I know her as.
It's Leah, right?
Yeah, she's
Leah
hosting
Remini?
a game show. She looks great.
Oh yeah,
she looks great.
I had that's the wife, right?
Yeah.
I've had a crush on her since Who's the Boss.
I don't remember from Who's the Boss.
I don't remember what she was like.
remember-
Tony's something like, but she was on Who's the Boss for some reason.
I met her as Stacey Carosi.
Okay.
in Saved by the Bell when they were at the summer job at the beach.
Oh
Stacey
yeah,
Carosi.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Roll Tide.
It's my
Roll Tide. Yes, indeed. Did you see Woj reported yesterday that hold on, let's get Jesse's numbers here. Grant Williams shot nearly 40% from 3. Lyles was at 36. Well, what's nearly 40%?
39.5.
Okay.
I go from the 5 up, you round up. From 4 down, you round down.
Okay.
Very true. But
All right.
But I would just say 40%.
See, that's lying to the people, though.
Well, I mean, if we're rounding up, no, it's not.
That's why you're throwing nearly, about 40%. Nearly 40%.
We round up here. Everybody just keeps walking around this place.
So I don't know what that like. I didn't even expect anybody to be here today.
It's so active.
Like
today.
Rich is dressed in all black. Like what the hell is going on here? We walked outside of this studio yesterday. Like what is happening in this building? Like why is it so chaotic here?
There's not even like meetings going on either. It's just people.
There's a meeting moratorium or something like that. I was told.
Right. People just walking around.
Like, I'm sorry, ma'am. Who are you? Why are you here? And of course, everyone has to look like, oh, got all these damn windows. I'm just gonna come hang up sheets. I'm just gonna put sheets on all of these windows. Can't see anything in here.
So confused.
Everybody pointing and waving. Like, are you waving at what?
Well, they're not waving at me. You know, Complex just walked right by me.
Complex did dish you. That was low key funny.
It is the worst though when like they'll bring like a group of people to the windows and they'll just watch.
Oh yeah, because it's like we're just talking. Like, what exactly do you want us to? Would you like us to dance? What do you want us to do? You're sitting there staring at us, and we're not sure how to respond. Which is what I wonder about the Atlanta Hawks. Woj reported yesterday that everyone but Trae Young is available.
Well,
I don't know how I'd respond to that if I was an Atlanta Hawk.
Everyone but Trae Young. Wow.
I don't get that. Like so there's a message. Atlanta's trying to improve. They're trying to get better. Okay, like, well, what if you don't?
Yeah.
What if you have your version of Harrison Barnes and you wind up back there with the same roster? How the hell is the rest of that team supposed to feel? When Trae Young's chucking up 40 shots and you're talking about we'll trade everyone except for Trae Young. Go ahead, Trae. Get your shots up, Brody.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But admittedly, full disclaimer, first time listeners, I don't like the Hawks.
Well,
I never have.
We're,
I don't get it. I don't understand the structure of that team. I don't feel that team at all.
Didn't they last year go like make a move, go get DeJounte Murray? Everybody said they're moving up, and now a year later, he's available allegedly.
Yeah, but
after smacking people on the top of the head, he should be available.
That was inappropriate. Funny.
I don't know why
it was
so
funny
bothered
because
by
I don't
that.
think I've ever seen that before. And yeah, that's like the second time in a month you brought it up.
I was so bothered by that. Well, let's not forget what he did to Paolo in the summer
For no reason. Like Paolo did you? What happened?
Paolo was
Paolo was coming for your neck.
Man, he was not having it in that dream that I had.
You realize that was one of your weirdest days ever.
No, that was strange. I don't know why it happened. It just happened. I don't know. But
I don't know. I don't know if
that's fine.
Remember he got into a Paolo and like in the summer league, Seattle Summer League.
Summer League, that's right. Yeah.
I was like, what's wrong with this dude?
Yeah, that's right. And he was talking the whole time.
Yeah. Instagram post.
DeJounte's in the final year of his deal. Maybe that's why the noise is so loud. This year is the final year of his deal at 17. 17.7. He's an unrestricted free agent next year. They may just be of the belief we're not bringing him back. Let's get out of this.
I can believe that. Well, and see what you can get for him.
Yeah, I don't have no problem with that.
Yeah.
I didn't think the deal made sense when you did it.
Right.
But I don't think I'm ever going to turn babyface on Atlanta.
I told you last year in the playoffs I started to feel bad for Trey. I was becoming a Trey supporter.
Yeah. Sorry, Jesse, go ahead.
I was gonna say, did they like fumble because they went to the conference finals however many few seasons ago, whatever? Did they fumble that build after that, or did they just massively overachieve?
They overachieved.
Okay.
Yeah, they overachieved in my opinion. They got lucky.
Yeah, they overachieved.
They were the Dallas Mavericks.
That's exactly what they were. I agree with that.
And that sent them, but I think a lot of us hoop fans knew. I don't think they knew. I think they went into that like we going to the finals next year, dog. I don't think they went in like, yo, this was a good season.
Well,
we've got to tune up some things. We got to be a little bit better next.
In their defense, a little bit, they had a lot of things going on at that time that made them think.
Refresh my memory.
Well, you had Trey look like a breakout star. John Collins was really good. You had who was the third? Bogey played well. He wasn't a killer, but he played well in the postseason.
That was Didn't Bogey start playing right before the postseason?
Might have been that year. Yeah, it might have been.
I guess that could. But
you look at that and the way he played in the postseason, and you figured, oh, look how he played in the postseason. We're gonna have him all year next year. We should be pretty good. Clint Capella played really well. They had all these draft picks, DeAndre Hunter. Like there was reason for optimism. I don't think they necessarily did anything wrong to like not make it work. It just didn't work. It was clearly not real what happened that year.
But that was my point. They didn't recognize that.
But
they thought it was.
And what I'm saying is I can understand why you think it's real if you're Atlanta. Like it that
they hit sevens on the slot machine that playoff run.
Yeah.
Like everything fell in alignment for them.
I mean, they beat New York. So you got past round one. And Trey looked like a superstar. And Philly, it shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. They shouldn't have beat Philly. But,
well, was that the layup?
Yeah. Game 7.
Boy. It might have legitimately been the end of Ben Simmons' career. We'll come back. We'll come back. I don't know what I was going to tell you is next. Oh, the Bucks stuff, the Milwaukee Bucks stuff. There's a little bit of noise out there regarding Khris Middleton. We'll pass that along here. Again, Jake Fisher. Maybe he's right. I don't know. We haven't talked to Khris Middleton. Jake Fisher did. But we'll tell you what's out there and some things that we heard with Khris Middleton with D'Lo and Casey return here on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320. gonna grab my juice real quick.
This shit's on. See, I should have timed this up better. This could have been kicking it with KC.
Philly's going to be such a weird team to follow this season.
I don't know what Philly got going on. I really don't. If they bring back Harden too, it's like, bro, for real? Why?
It's really early. The season's not even close, but I could see them being like a first-round exit type team this season.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's over. It's over for those guys anyway. Like, it's done. Last year was their. Then when they lost Game 6, that was all she wrote.
Casey got the expensive Jordan stuff on today. You don't even have the regular Jordan stuff.
What you talk? Come on, don't listen to this guy, man.
You got the designer Jordan stuff on today.
Don't
I don't even think regular people like us can buy that stuff.
Stop. Once again, don't listen to this guy. What is he wearing? Look at his shirt.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Look at his shirt.
I just got one question. Did you buy that?
What?
What you're wearing?
What?
Okay, exactly. Exactly. Kenny Carrot.
That's absolutely irrelevant.
KC, the KC part brought to you by Jordan. Like, that's what I'm saying. You can't buy the stuff Kenny got on.
That is completely irrelevant.
That's the hookup gear. Only big dogs get those.
Stop it.
Rich just walking around. I swear it looked like Rich got a BlackBerry. Rich, that's 100% Rich's signature pose. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does do that. He does the Rich. Nobody could hear us. We were slamming ether yesterday.
Oh.
And when that door shut, you couldn't hear it.
Couldn't hear.
You could hear like noise
when it opened up.
But oh yeah,
fuck
Jay-Z. Oh man, Chester, don't nobody miss those Blackberries, man. Those things were terrible. Terrible. That's like me saying I miss my Trio.
I had a Blackjack.
The hell is a Blackjack?
It was kind of like a BlackBerry. I never had a BlackBerry though.
I had one for like a brief minute. I was like, yeah, this is trash. I'm good. I had a Sidekick for a week. I was like, I hate this thing.
I like the Sidekick.
I had the Dwayne Wade one. Like, yeah,
probably why you didn't like it.
Yeah, y'all can. Damn. Y'all can have this. I don't want this.
Kind of sneaky.
Oh, King City fan, it's all good, man. We here for you. Shit, y'all good company for us too, man. Trust me.
Absolutely.
We we deal with stuff just like y'all do.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Michigan, absolutely not, because I ain't drinking celery juice by itself. That stuff is nasty. Oh man, more money, more problems. The theme of the Golden State Warriors offseason.
Oh man, you know they got money to spend, got money to blow. Now that they got rid of the problem that was Jordan Poole.
But before we touch on some of the other rumors as we get closer, I swear I've never wanted a Friday to get here quick enough, and it has nothing to do with the work week. I love doing this show, love hanging out. I need this to end. I just so badly want this to end. Friday, get here, and let's find out.
And real quick, Matt Nahegan, please let's get some better pictures of us. We've taken pictures. Did a whole photo shoot. We both have Instagrams. Can we get better pictures for us when we come on that show?
Yeah, shout out to Matt Nahegan, brand manager over at 95.7 The Game. I used some restraint last night because he tweeted he was really proud of this Troy Aikman card that he had, and it was a hologram card.
Mm.
And so when you turn the card, there's Troy, and then when you turn it, he's going to throw. And when you turn the card up, it said Troy goes deep.
Oh my God.
And I was like, and I typed it out. I was like, don't, Matt, he won't get it. Just don't do it. Just be an adult for once in your stupid life and walk away from this. And then there was Guru chiming in. I'm like, don't just leave. Just leave. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. So Matt, we're gonna email you the thousands of pictures that our girl Rachel took of us. And you can create some new graphics over there at 95.7 The Game for when Kenny comes through.
Pre-Invisalign Kenny. Come on.
Wow. They got the two insurance salesmen up there whenever we're on that show. Did you see what Shohei Ohtani did last night?
Oh, yo, what do you have? 2 home runs and 10 strikeouts?
2 home runs, 10 strikeouts. He got pulled from the game he got pulled from the mound in the middle of an inning in like the 6th inning. And it's like, oh man, he hit a home run after that.
It was crazy.
This dude leads the majors in home runs, RBIs, and he's 3rd in the league in strikeouts.
Yo, I'm really actively, especially since it has nothing to do with my Gigantes, who won again last night. 10 straight road wins for the Giants. 10 straight. These guys are
That's amazing.
I'm rooting for the Angels to get to the playoffs. I want to see Ohtani and Mike Trout on the biggest stage. Yeah, let's make that happen.
Barry's still the GOAT over Shohei?
Yeah.
I'm already firm. Shohei's the greatest player of all time to me.
Settle down. Calm down. He's great though. He's great. He's phenomenal. We said it on Sports Sunday. I can say this. I've never seen anything like this. I'm not going to go as far as say he's the best ever. I'm going to say I've never seen anything like this. This is crazy. Crazy.
Let it ride. Let it ride a little bit more. See how much long. I mean, this is incredible.
He's on his
what
way.
He's doing is
he's on his way. He's on track for
He's
sure.
better than anyone who played before 1947. I'll say that. Better than Babe Ruth or whoever.
Babe Ruth like the Beatles. I'm not gonna get into it, but yeah.
Oh no, I'll get into it. I've said that for Babe Ruth. He's the most overrated sports figure in history. Y'all act like he's the great. He can't be. He can't be. He's not.
No, he's not the greatest.
He's not even close.
I thought you were gonna get into it about the Beatles.
Oh, I don't have a beef with the Beatles. That's just not my bag.
We don't have a beef.
I don't have any.
We can just say what it is, though.
What is it?
They're not the greatest group of all time.
Well, I mean, they might be for some people. They're just not for me.
Yeah.
Like there isn't a form of music that I can't get into. But I don't get that music. It doesn't do anything for me. It never has.
Drake really said I got more slaps than the Beatles.
Well, he's probably right.
Yeah.
How many streams did the Beatles have? That might be something you have to live through.
I guess so. That's the Jimmy Butler of music.
Might be. Might be. I mean, it has that, 50, 60 sound, which is a unique sound, but there's some 50, 60 sounds that I like.
Yeah.
And it's just not theirs.
No. Jackson 5 was great.
This has been speculated on. Is that 60s? Yeah, I guess it was. This has been speculated on. This from Woj. Timberwolves are declining to pick up Taurean Prince's $7.4 million contract for the 2023-2024 season. Averaged 10.4 in his 7 years with Minnesota. Hits the free agent market.
He'd be a nice little target off the bench. You get Harrison and Taurean Prince.
I don't mind that at all.
No.
I don't mind that at all.
Have an off season with Harrison and Taurean Prince. That's not bad. Sasha. Do you think Kobe Jones is playing on the Kings this year? It's kind of unfair.
Question.
I think we got to see him in summer league to get a better idea.
I do right now, but you brought something up earlier that is it Kata? Is Kata and Trey Lyles the plan, or Trey Lyles and Kata, is that the plan behind Domas? Because if it is, there's the numbers probably work out for Colby Jones to be on the roster. If it's not, and perhaps your Lord and Savior Mason Plumlee is back in the conference. Maybe that throws Colby Jones to Stockton for a while or something. I'm not sure, but I had the opinion that maybe we lost Terrence on draft night because of this. So we mentioned the Kessler Edwards option is due. I imagine he's a part of the team. I don't know. That's a good question. My gut, my reaction today on June 28th is yes, he is. You?
I think he is. I'm interested to see him at the
too.
California Classic and in Summer League in general. I want to see what his game looks like up close and personal and on the NBA level, because I'm really intrigued. I've been watching him since they drafted him, going back watching games, and I'm intrigued to see how it translates to the NBA. I think he can do some really good things on the NBA level. So
I'm with you. He's got he looks like he can scrap. Yeah, I'm excited about that.
High IQ
I'm really
guy.
excited about that for particularly Monday. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get out there Wednesday or not, but I'm really excited to see him play on Monday for sure. And then in Vegas, obviously, on TV, because we're not going.
No.
Speculation that Khris Middleton is nearing a deal with the Milwaukee Bucks. I think that's long been the expectation. Jake Fisher is the only person I have seen who has linked Khris Middleton to anybody, and he actually threw Sacramento in that. I'm not buying it. I mean, again, no discredit to Jake Fisher. I'm sure he did hear that. I'm just not buying it. I never thought he was leaving Milwaukee. I thought the idea was you're going to opt out of a $40 million contract. You're going to sign something, longer term with them, whether long term means 2 years, 3 years, or in the case of some of the reports, and I think this was Mark Stein's report, 4 years, 140.
Wow. I had to take a second. Jeez.
I'm having a tough time believing that one.
Jeez.
Now,
more power to you, brother.
Poked around a little bit. I think Milwaukee is more in the range of 3 and 90. I can see that makes much more sense to me. 3 years, 90, 95 million. That's 30 plus over, even if you went 3 years, 100, it's 30 plus. It's not a drastic cut from the 40 million. And I don't feel the way that you do with Khris Middleton. He's a question mark to me. I don't think he's done. I don't think he's on the downturn. I'm 31 years old. I think he can rebound in a similar way that Clay did.
Okay.
He might not be the Khris Middleton he was 3 years ago, but I think he can rebound to where I don't think anyone thinks Klay Thompson is a bad basketball player or anything that resembles a bad basketball player. He's not the defender he used to be. And that's, I get it. I wonder if that's the same conversation we're going to have with Khris Middleton. I think Khris Middleton, the thing I'm concerned about is I don't know if that rebound's coming this year or next year. We just talked about that procedure. He just had another procedure. Now this one, when my leg they opened up, but this is a small procedure. All right. He's not missing time. He's not missing camp. He's not missing the start. He's not missing anything in regards to it. But I also don't believe, I don't know how he's training right now.
Right.
I don't know if he's training to rehab. I don't know, or training isn't even rehab. I don't know if he's rehabbing or if he's training for next year. And we've talked extensively about how different those two things are and what they could do for a ball player, not just their game, but probably their state of mind. Some of these guys who spend the whole offseason rehabbing, their first chance to really, really play basketball, it's a week or two before the regular season starts. Where you got guys like, Uncle Keegs and De'Aaron and Davion, who they've been working since Game 7 ended.
Right.
So I'm on the side of Khris Middleton, still has some legs left. I think those legs remain in Milwaukee. 4 years, 140 would be stunning.
Yeah, that's
but
a good amount.
Yeah, 3 and 90 to 100, I could absolutely believe.
Yeah, I hope Khris Middleton is able to bounce back and be the player that he has been in the last few years when, they've been playing for championships and been a number one seed. I hope they figure out whatever's going on with that knee, and he's able to be a part of that.
Well, I hope they already figured it out. They don't have to go in again and figure out what it is.
My only concern is that it doesn't. I couldn't trust it for that type of money, for that type of commitment. I wouldn't be able to trust
3 years.
It,
3 years you couldn't do it.
Maybe.
I guess the problem with Milwaukee is like because you have Giannis there, and because you've done it. We're not talking about anything but a title.
Oh no, and
we're not talking about getting to the conference finals.
Yeah, and if I'm Milwaukee, I don't want to say I have no problem doing it, but I'm a lot more apt to do it if I'm Milwaukee than I am, say, Sacramento. Milwaukee has got history. We won something. I'm trying to, we keep our chemistry. I'm trying to keep these people together. I'll do that for the hometown.
Mm-hmm.
Sacramento trying to get where Milwaukee is and taking a chance on Khris Middleton. I wouldn't want to do that.
That's 4 years, 140.
That's
for the Bucks. Yeah, the Bucks we can work with. It feels like even as I say that 30 and 90, man, that's a lot too. That's a $10 million pay cut.
I was still at a pause with that one too.
You think it's too high?
Yeah, but like you said, we're in the different places with Khris. But with Milwaukee,
I'm not pausing it all for 30-90. That's just, to me, like, that feels low.
If
like
the Kings did that?
Oh, I'm talking about Milwaukee.
That's what I'm saying. Milwaukee is different. If I'm Milwaukee, I'm not really pausing. Anybody outside of Milwaukee, I don't know if I want to make.
I don't know. At 3 and 90 for the Kings, I don't think I have a problem with that.
I don't know if we can play. I don't know if we can.
Come on, he can play.
No, physically, like he misses games because of this knee. Can he give me 65 games?
I think so.
That's not even that good, right? Like 65.
It's not the best.
Right.
It's kind of a low bar you set there.
What did he play last year? I remember we talked about it.
Yeah,
but
this show is just a series of us looking up stuff that we looked up last week.
Oh, wait a minute. Can we?
Oh, well, that's not fair. He came back during the season last year. He was 33, but he's coming off the injury. It's not like he played game one.
What did he play the year before?
66. So that's more than 65. Year before, right. 68.
70 game season. 72 game season.
Yeah, that's right. 68 and a 72. Yep. 62 and a 72. So 72. He played 82 games in 17 and 18. Yeah, I mean, he's been pretty durable.
Hey, man. Hey.
What?
Cue up the music.
What music?
You know the music.
No, I don't.
Man, we need the pocket watch, man.
Oh, okay. Well, excuse me, man. I didn't know what you were talking about.
You know what it is, man. You know what it is.
Which one we got? We got this one.
Yeah, I think this is the one I like. Play the other one real quick, because let me see which one I like better. No, I like this one.
This the one?
Yeah, this the one.
Okay. So I'm looking up Khris Middleton's numbers here.
Yeah.
It'd help if you informed me as to what we were doing. I have no idea. I thought you had the numbers.
I thought you had them right in front of you.
No,
the same place you look at the stats. I thought you look at the money.
No, it's not the same place. Hey, everybody, hold on. Kenny has an idea, and I gotta execute it. Hang on. Cue up the music. He's rubbing his hands together like Birdman. I'm like, what are we doing? All right.
I'm on a 2-game winning streak right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
You're on a 1-game winning streak.
I don't think so.
It was 2. No, because you went in a different competition. You're on a 1-game winning streak for pocket watching.
What was the other competition?
I don't remember, but it wasn't pocket.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but you killed. Yeah, you killed.
I think it was pocket watching.
You did have a good day. So Khris Middleton, here we go. Khris Middleton, taking number 39.
Second round.
Taking number 39.
Okay.
In 2012. Khris Middleton has completed 11 seasons.
Wow, what a career. 11 already.
11 seasons, has no years ahead of him as of right now. That will certainly change in the coming days. The most money he made, obviously, was last year. $37.9 million. Khris Middleton, 11 seasons, drafted number 39 overall. Career earnings.
I'm gonna go with 165.
165.
They even gave me the little music right there too. That was perfect timing.
Jesse,
I'm gonna go. I'll go 1-2. I'm gonna go 207. That was my first guess.
I think that's too high. 165.
So we're going. Okay, remember
Closer.
these aren't Kenny's rules.
It's not my. It's the Price is Right.
We're not doing that. And Jesse went 207. This is actually one where I've got to do a little bit of math on.
So I should have won because clearly I'm closest without going over.
Wait a minute.
Clearly.
Wait a minute. What the hell is going on here in the screen? Hang on a second. Sombrero Ham is here.
Oh my gosh.
Sombrero
Oh my God.
Ham is here. James Ham is joining us. Okay, real quick. The number is Khris Middleton, 11 seasons, $194 million. I believe Jesse gets the nod for that.
Come on, man. Hey, come on.
We
man.
do not
I
play.
was gonna guess 196 too. That was my second guess. I'll just go 207.
Let's bring in our 1320 Kings insider and creator of the Kings Beat, James Ham. Sombrero and all. James, you're on vacation. You're not supposed to be working, but you haven't stopped working, and I have the text to prove it. What's up, man?
What's going on, guys? Hopefully this sounds okay. I didn't bring any major mic equipment with me or anything, but yeah, I figured I'd check in.
You sound better than Kenny did on the game this morning, so you're fine. You sound fantastic. Well, you broke a little bit of news last night. The couple is talking again.
Yeah. I think this is a big deal. Up until even yesterday, we had heard that the Kings and Harrison Barnes camp hadn't talked in really like 3 weeks, and now they are. They're talking again. I don't know if that means that the Kings have exhausted a few other options and a few other plans that they may have had, but they certainly at this point they probably have to have a heart-to-heart with themselves and know that Harrison Barnes is still a really good player. He still makes them a better team. He's part of the group that won 48 games last year, and if you don't have a much better option, he's still a really good one, especially with all the intangibles that he brings to the table.
So, James, you've seen how these things play out and how it goes down. I mean, you don't talk to somebody for 2 to 3 weeks, and then you come back like, "Hey, how are you doing?
How you doing?"
How does that go for the Kings, for Harrison Barnes? Does everybody involved realize and understand, hey, it's business, or is there a little, the Harrison side is going to be like, oh, okay, I mean, we can talk, but it's going to cost you. I need $1 million just for this conversation, like I'm Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think the Kings have something that Harrison Barnes wants. And regardless of how this has played out, of how long it took them to come back to the table and have a negotiation, the fact is that the Kings are the location that he wants to be in. Northern California is a location that he wants to be in. He's put up roots here. His wife has a business in the Bay Area. They have family in the Bay Area. So I think that this is one of those things where if you consider everything, Harrison wanted to come back initially. Now, whether that means that this deal gets done or not, we have no idea. Like I always caution people, and I cautioned people before I broke the Harrison Barnes news last night. Like, look, like don't fall in love with any one singular idea, any one singular player, because these things change very, very quickly. And you just kind of, be a yo-yo and kind of balance and stay with it and figure out where it's going to go, where the wind is blowing. We still have 2 days until free agency opens up, and we're acting like everything's a done deal. And I think that that's one way that we're kind of just like living and breathing the free agency window even before it starts and it gets chaotic.
Yeah, James, we talked about Kyle Kuzma yesterday for 2.5 hours. The deal that we felt, or we heard they were relatively close to a deal prior to a brief separation a couple of weeks ago. Like, are talks? Do you think talks are just picking up where they left off? Are they working through different scenarios? Like, what do you think is happening with these two groups right now?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because the number that we heard that was floated around, a couple of weeks ago was that Barnes's camp was looking for somewhere around $20 million. I have a hard time believing that the Kings are going to go that high, and that's not because they don't believe in Harrison Barnes. It's because he's 31. They know the clock is ticking, just like everyone else does. And what you don't want to do is sign a long-term deal with a player who starts to decline in sort of his play and get yourself locked into a contract that you can't move if you have to down the road. And so I would be surprised if that's the number, although I keep hearing that number in different places. But I would still be surprised because, look, the Kings didn't clear out all this cap space, didn't basically, trade away the 24th pick and Rashawn Holmes just to go out and re-sign Harrison Barnes and give an extension to Sabonis. They had higher aspirations here, which is why we've heard them attached to just about every name in the book, including Kyle Kuzma, including Bradley Beal, and you name it, they've been attached to it. I think at this point, there is a very good chance that the Kings are also looking at like 2 or 3 really, really solid rotational ads in addition to Harrison Barnes. Now, I don't know that for sure, and we don't have names to attach that, but there are still a lot of names that we don't know where they're going at all. The Bruce Browns of the world, the Mason Plumlees of the world, guys that can actually not just look fancy on the ledger, but that actually make an impact when it comes to winning. And that's what they're really looking for, is something to help this team win.
So, James, I was of the belief, and I think a lot of people are of the belief, the Kings made that move on draft day for a specific reason. And I thought it was not to re-sign Harrison Barnes. I think the Sabonis renegotiate and extend was one of the reasons. But I also thought it was to go out there and get a free agent or be a player in the trade market for somebody with a bigger salary. Is there a possibility that they felt that was the best time to make that move and the only time to make that move? And I say that because maybe Rashawn Holmes' contract isn't as appealing as we may think it is, with 2 years left on the deal. And they looked at that situation where, hey, it's draft night. Dallas is desperate to clear cap space themselves and have these draft picks. Let's strike right now, because if we wait to do this during the season or, trying to get a player, it may not be as appealing to other people. Maybe that was the reason why they did the deal then, as opposed to saying, hey, we're trying to get bigger fish now.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I think they had conversations all around the league, and they gauged what was more valuable. Rashawn Holmes in a trade to act as a salary buffer, or the 24th pick. And I think they probably came back to the answer with that trading Holmes with the 24th pick, it doesn't just free up $12 million this year, it frees up 12.9 next year. So it's actually, you sold the 24th pick in the draft for $25 million spread out over 2 years. So, I mean, you can look at it a bunch of different ways, but for me, I think that this team is shopped really hard. They know exactly what the value was, and they realize that, if they go out and they're offering up the 24th pick and Rashawn Holmes in a package that looks like this, they weren't getting the type of offers or the bites that they were hoping to get. And trading Holmes with that 24th pick, they now can offer, instead of a player with 2 years and $25 million, they can offer salary cap space that they didn't have before. So it not only frees you up for free agency, but it also frees you up for trades. And that's something that you just didn't have the option, it looked like, especially like if you would have retained Holmes, you would have had that on your books, like no free agency. It would have wiped your free agency down to, 22, 23 million bucks, which basically is enough to bring back Barnes, maybe, and maybe give Sabonis an extension. Now you have all kinds of other options, and it costs you something. But I also will make the argument that I think that they got a player at 34 that they probably could have looked at really hard at 24, and a first round talent that was in the second round, because this was a pretty deep draft and some people made some moves ahead of them that, were strange, and it pushed some players into the second round that maybe didn't need to go to the second round. So I think we haven't heard the end of this story. And I caution everybody, don't buy everything that you read. It's my job to try to break news, but also to analyze the why that you would go out and sign a guy like Kyle Kuzma if that's what you were going to do. And at the end of the day, I liked the idea of Kyle Kuzma, and I talked myself into the idea of Kyle Kuzma, but it was always with the understanding that Kyle Kuzma hasn't signed on the dotted line. And the same thing about Kyle Kuzma, there's always been the problem with him, is that I just didn't think he would want to play in Sacramento, because that's not who he is. He loves the lifestyle.
There's no evidence he's even talked to him. It was just kind of thrown out there, and it was like, hey, let's make a show out of it. And it admittedly got a smidge bit out of hand.
And look, I think he is a perfect fit for the Sacramento Kings. I looked at his defensive numbers. I was like, holy cow, Kyle Kuzma was really good defensively last year. But I also looked at Harrison Barnes' numbers, and I thought, oh, okay. He was, like we talked about it last year, he was one of the worst defensive players in the league last year, bottom 12%, something like that. This last year, he was much, much better. He was a very solid defender on a bad defensive team. And so, the Kings need more length. They need more athleticism. It's still the same thing we were talking about before. And I still have a really tough time looking at this roster and saying, okay, are they really going to come back with Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray, Trey Lyles, and add Sasha Vezenkov, and really not address the biggest need that they have, which is length and athleticism at the 3 and the 4. And that to me would be shocking if they did, because even if you bring back Kessler Edwards, who has that length and athleticism we're talking about, that defensive acumen, he still isn't going to have an opportunity to play with these other 4 guys on the roster. There's still going to be a logjam in minutes. And so you still have to address these things. And, it's not like you can go out and just bring in a guy to back up Sabonis to solve everything, because Sabonis plays 35 minutes a game. So how is somebody going to solve everything in 13 minutes a game? And that's where we're at. We got the Kings need to keep dealing with all of these issues that they have, and keep trying to increase the talent on the roster.
We're on a roller coaster of emotions right now, going from a variety of different players, and this team is talking to this Kings team's talking to this player, and this is talking to this guy. And so I'm going to ask you a question that everybody listening and everybody watching is going to answer for themselves, but I want your opinion on it. They make this move at the draft to the 24th pick. Talk about all of the scenarios, all of what might be out there. Should Sacramento extend Domantas Sabonis, lock him, have him under contract for a long time, re-sign Harrison Barnes, Trey Lyles back, and we'll look for some moves at the end of the bench? Is that a disappointment?
I think it is. And that's not a disrespect on any of those guys. I think it is. If this is what happens, this is how you come out of it. You need one more, maybe 2 more rotational pieces, players that can actually help your roster. I think that there's ways that you can sign Sabonis, which is a priority. And I don't get why people have any problems with that being a priority for the Kings. That's crazy. If you can lock up a all-NBA center, long-term, 27 years old, 3-time All-Star, you can lock him up as long as possible. You do it the second that you can. And that, to me, someone's, you've already piled all these assets. You gave up now Holmes in the 24, you gave up Halliburton. It's like, okay. And he just delivered you to the 3rd seed in the Western Conference for a franchise that hadn't made the playoffs for 16 straight years. So I'm confused what you think that the give and take is here. This is an incredible NBA player. So, I think that's big. I think that even the Harrison Barnes thing, look, Harrison Barnes is still a really good basketball player. We talked about this time and time again. He takes care of his body. He's the most upstanding citizen you're going to find. And he's still good, and he can still help your team. But you cleared out a bunch of space. You traded a 24th pick. this starts to look more and more like the Vlade Divac deal if you don't actually get anything with this pick, with this money. And so whether, again, that's a guy like Bruce Brown or a guy like multiple players that can help you build something and can help fill some of the holes and make you a better defensive team, I do think it would be a slight disappointment.
Okay.
I didn't expect James to say that. I'm completely honest. I didn't think he would say that.
I disagree a little bit, and I'm not gonna, just put words in James' hands' mouth. He didn't say this, but it sounds like James and other people want the Kings to spend just to spend. Because but like if they did all that to put themselves in a position to get Kuzma, and Kuzma chose Houston, and maybe get OG and the asking price didn't come off of Keegan, and Jeremy Grant wants to go back to Port. Like if it takes, this, James, it takes two to tango. So if they put themselves in position to be able to do it, and it just wasn't able to happen, I don't think that's a disappointment or a failure on their part. Not saying you're saying it's a failure, but that, like, they put themselves in position to do everything they could. Now it's up to other people saying that they want to be a part of it. And the only way it comes out is like you did something is if you go sign somebody, Dylan Brooks. At least you can say you got something with the money. I don't think that would be the option. If you don't believe in Dylan Brooks or any of these other people, then you don't get them. You sign Harrison Barnes and maybe one other guy and leave it at that.
Yeah, Kenny, the key for me is always win more games, get better talent. You got to find a way to do it. You got to find a way to close one or two of these deals that, maybe you haven't been able to in the past. I mean, it's 2023. We should not be talking about the 1998 acquisition of Vlade Divac as the single greatest free agent signing in the history of Sacramento Kings. You just can't. And if you're the third seed in the West, you need to use that capital. You need to use the fact that you've got young stars, that you've got young up and coming players that are, doing big things as ways to go out there and get the players that you need. And I'm not saying that they're not going to. I'm just saying that, yeah, there's expectations. When you have $35 million in cap space and there's only 8 teams with cap space and you're the only one of them that's a legitimate playoff contender, you probably should be able to land somebody. And not just anybody, and not just spending to spending because it's the right pick, it's the right player, because you have needs that you still have not been able to fill. That's it. So it's interesting. Like, we can talk about like the 24th pick, Olivier Maxence Prosper. That's the guy that we keep talking about. It's the long athletic wing. And I'm not saying they made a mistake. What I'm saying is, like, that's what you need. You have to go get that guy if you're going to compete in the Western Conference. You're going to be able to stop some of these incredible players that you're running up against in the first round, the second round, the third round of the playoffs. Like, this should be about competing for a championship if you can get up, if you're the third seed in the West. And that's where expectations change.
But is it fair to say you probably want Max Prosper 4 years from now or 3 years from
now? Of course. And he could be 2 years away from 2 years away his entire career. So that's, my point is, though, you got to find those guys. That's it. Like, you have to, and they've got to be, better than what you have in Kessler Edwards. And that's not a knock on Kessler. It's just that if Kessler's fine, if you're a 30-win team, he's not okay right now. Maybe he develops, but right now as a player, he's not a guy that plays substantial minutes on 48 or 52 or a 55-win team. That's just being honest.
Yeah, and I don't think that say you bring back Harrison Barnes. I don't think it's going to be hard to find somebody that much better than Kessler Edwards for that role. Like I said, I want Dylan Brooks there. You think Dylan Brooks, if we say Dylan Brooks, you're not starting, he'll go to Houston.
Yeah, I think he goes somewhere else.
You know what I mean? Like,
I think he'd probably go to a bad team.
Yeah,
that's possible.
Taurean Prince, I would love to have him. I think he'd be good. We just talked about him. But if you go to Taurean and he's like, I'm not starting here, I can go to Indiana and I'll be the starting small forward. Probably going to go to Indiana.
Yeah, but isn't that the issue that, like, you have with some players? Like, If you're Dylan Brooks and you're used to winning, why would you choose Houston? Because Kyle Kuzma's there and the two of you are going to team up and you're going to rule the world. Like, let's be realistic here. You're still a young team. You're still not a playoff team. Like, they can add a couple of veterans like that. They're still not a playoff team. So, like, what you want here is you want players to want to come and play for you because you put something together that you're building something that's a winner and sustainable, and they want to be part of that sustainability. And that's why, if someone would take, 25 million or 30 million in a place like Houston over a team like Sacramento, I think it speaks volumes about who they are as a player and what the direction is that they want to be as a player. And so you got to find the right guy, and the right guy is a winner. It's not just long and athletic and can shoot the three ball and play defense. It's a winner mentality. And that's something that I think that the Kings are actually shopping for. And we can knock Dylan Brooks for a lot of things, but that dude's a winner. He's played on winning teams. He's a dude who puts it all out there every single game. There aren't a bunch of nights off. So, like, I wouldn't be disappointed with him. I wouldn't be disappointed with Bruce Brown. We don't have to sit here and talk about, like, the superstars that the Kings have missed out on. I don't believe that's, like, you can get a lot more run out of two really good players than potentially you could out of a guy, say, like Bradley Beal. Like, if you're managing your money the right way and finding the right types of players with the right personality and really the right soul as basketball players, then you can make huge strides here. Remember, it's not just Chris Webber and Vlade Divac and Mike Bibby, or it's Doug Christie, it's Bobby Jackson, it's Scott Pollard. Those are the players that, as of right now, you need more of.
I knew you wouldn't be able to stay away. I just knew we were going to get sombrero ham here at some point. What's the rest of your day look like, James?
Okay, so I just did a sushi making class, which was spectacular.
That's awesome.
The rest of the day is probably going to be with a drink in my hand. I know we have dinner reservations tonight. Someone decided to do construction above us. If you hear that, hopefully the hat is helping dampen the noise. But I'll probably be laying out by the beach most of the day today. I think we have a massage on the beach tomorrow.
Nice.
I'm living the high life here, man. It's good stuff.
Put some sunscreen on, Ham. We worry about you out there, but we worry about you out there. Hey, thanks for. I'm assuming Mrs. Ham, attorney at law, like went for a walk or was like, go do whatever you want, James. James, you got 20 minutes. I'm leaving. I'm gonna go do something else. If you want to do something, you could do it, but this is it.
Yeah. She's down by the pool. She's down by the pool where
out.
she's been nonstop, and we have friends here with us, so we're not flying solo. We've got other friends here, and so we're just hanging out and having a good week.
Well, we've got our Twitter notifications. Our James Ham alerts are on, and we'll stay in touch the next couple of days, man. But go have fun, my friend. Thanks for jumping on with us.
Yes, sir. Enjoy yourself.
See you guys.
It's James Ham in a construction zone there. I believe in Puerto Vallarta is where our man Ham is hanging out. There's probably a few other things to talk about as well. By the way, y'all never believe where we heard Kyle Kuzma was going. We've referenced it like 20 times today, which actually leads me to believe like something else that seems to have like strong momentum now, though no one will like flat out say it, involving James Harden. I do think Houston's going to be interesting to watch. We'll come back. Will Z's going to join us, by the way. Will Z's going to join us here in studio at the top of the hour. So much more ahead. Excited to talk to Will. Excited to talk more Kings basketball. If you want to get in on the phone lines, you can 916-909-1320. We'll talk Kings basketball. We'll talk NBA basketball as we head into the start of free agency coming up here on Friday with Dylan Casey, brought to you by Sky River Casino on Sacramento Sports Leader ESPN 1320. Kicking it with Casey.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we got kicking it. I mean, you want to stick around for it? You ain't got to leave. Oh, okay. I got to figure out how to do a thing, title for it, a label, like how we have the 13th round.
Oh, you want one of those?
Yeah, I got to figure out how to do that.
All right.
Where we at here? Let me make sure the time is right. Kicking it with KC. You already know the vibes, baby. Not brought to you by anybody, but we just talking that talk, man. We talking our shoes. We having a good time. And I wanted to bring up something that I saw yesterday that really piqued my interest. And I was like, man, maybe I was kind of sleeping. Not really sleeping, but they just really jumped out. And that's yesterday. Jason Tatum was in New York in the I think it's like a street ball tournament, New York versus New York. And he was out there in the Tatum One lemonade joints. They had a whole little pop-up shop there with the Tatum One lemonades. And I said, yo, these is fire. I'd seen them before. I think he wore them in an All-Star game or something like that. I was like, yo, these is kind of sick. I like those a lot, man. Those are shoes that you walk around a little bit in if you see them a certain way. Let me get you another picture of the lemonade joints. Let me get you up here. Boom. Now we in there with that. And it's like Tatum and the lemonades. I like that. I got a pair of the Tatum ones. Really like them. Really comfortable. Big fan of them. Maybe would like another pair of them. I usually use those shoes as like the basketball shoes. I hoop in them indoor and things of that nature. But those lemonades, if I came across those, I might wear those just walking around. Big fan of those. JT doing some big things with his first signature shoe. We see you out here. And if anybody got a plug on the lemonades, holla at your boy, man. That's Kicking It with KC. Big fan of the Tatum ones. I drew down. Yeah, I got another look at them and saw them on feed. And I was like, I kind of feel it. I like those. Yeah. That's right, Ramsey. Sponsored by no one. I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm gonna change that. We're gonna make that sponsored by somebody. Yeah, I think it's dead, not just because of that, but that probably plays a little bit of a factor. I think the asking price for OG is getting a little wonky. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the JT ones, man. I like those. I want another colorway. Like I said, lemonade joints. That might be the move. Well, if they want to pay up, I ain't tripping.
Yeah.
I ain't tripping.
Them things on point.
I don't know, man. I don't.
I
understand the feeling, but it's okay.
Like if you cleared up money and all that, and like it wasn't to extend Harrison and Barnes or whatever, you're trying to go for something bigger. That's a failure.
Did you see Torian Prince retweeted? Sheesh, appreciate the heads up, Woj.
Oh, damn.
That's terrible.
Damn. I don't know what they're doing in Minnesota, man. It's always something.
I don't think Minnesota knows what they're doing.
Let A-Rod be in control.
Just saw this tweet from Torian Prince where he quote tweeted Adrian Wojnarowski, the Timberwolves are declining to guarantee Torian Prince $7.4 million contract. Torian Prince retweeted, sheesh, appreciate the heads up, Woj.
Oh, no.
Strongly encourage you to go. But one, that's terrible. Two,
jeez.
When you get the opportunity, obviously at 4:00, check out This League podcast with Chris Haynes, Mark Stein, and Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell, one, told some very entertaining stories. One of them on draft day about how, he was kind of asked about the draft process and like, when do you know you're going to get selected? And he had a unique story in that, sometimes we see guys on the phone, sometimes we see agents on the phone. And he said, well, you know when you're getting picked because like the cameras rush over to you. And like all of a sudden you have a bunch of cameras around you, like, so you're getting selected, but normally before then. Well, he said, well, no one called us. No one from Sacramento, like no one called until after I was picked. So we saw all these cameras coming over to us and we're like, what is going on? I'm getting picked by Sacramento. I think he said he thought he was going, he lists the teams, a couple of, maybe one after or one after that, but he had a handful of teams that he thought he was going to. But really, really, really good stuff from Davion Mitchell. Really, really good stuff.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to. I heard little snippets and stuff like that. I got to hear the whole thing though. I got to hear.
It's good. Yeah, it's good. It's definitely worth. And Chris Haynes say, "Hey, we're only doing an hour because I got to let him get him back to the gym." He did an hour. Man, and it was really good. Shout out to Charlene's Beauty Supply.
Always
in Elk Grove. I saw some of I think Sean Cunningham put some stuff on Instagram. Looked really good. Saw Lance Woods there. Saw our man Edison there. Looked like a lot of.
Man, I'm mad I wasn't able to make it, man. But I had to be there for the kids, so it's all good. It's all good.
Well, by the time we got there from here, probably would have been on the fan portion of the. Right? We would have been on the fan portion of the.
It's actually not as bad as you think. It's about 40 minutes.
Well, yeah, but if it's an hour, it started at 4, didn't it?
I thought it was 4:30. But if it started at 4, yeah, well, yeah, it started at 4.
Just would have missed it. We've talked, heard, joked about Kyle Kuzma going to the Rockets. I think the Rockets are going to be really intriguing. We've heard the Rockets tied to a number of different names over the course of the last week or so. So James is going back to Philly, right?
That's my thought. I'd be surprised if he didn't.
Hey, Atlanta or Houston, I mean, good for you. Let whatever you were hoping to just let that die.
Right.
Let it go. Let that man go back to Philadelphia and build the team. I don't know exactly what you're building there, but
I mean, is it like a stopgap type thing? Like get some guys in? It's not the same thing, but it almost feels like what the Kings did that time with George Hill and Zebo and Vince and De'Aaron was a rookie and all that other stuff. That didn't really work.
How'd that go?
Yeah, that didn't work out very well.
There are certain playbooks you just don't want to call from. And I don't know that they shut those poor guys down like half a season in. People get mad at George Hill for like, this isn't what I signed up for. They literally told George Hill, yeah, bro, you're probably not going to play the rest of the season. Now, that wasn't exactly true. Get me out of here. I don't blame George Hill at all for that. I don't blame George Hill at all.
Yeah,
Houston, low key, one of the most interesting teams on Friday, though.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what they got going on, man, because they got a lot going on.
Fred VanVleet, boy, 2 years and $80 million.
Oh man, what did he opt out of again? Was it 20-something million?
It's a good question. I don't know the answer to.
He's about to get like 30-40 million a year. Wow, good for him. Good for him.
Let me see. Hang on. Fred VanVleet. He opted out. This probably won't even tell me what he opted out of. It certainly doesn't. He said, I'm okay. Probably. Wow. Roughly 21. He signed a 4-year, $85 million contract. And now Houston's talking 2 years, $85 million. Jeez. Goodness gracious.
Big ups to him, man. Big ups to him.
Oh, this is a.
Uh-oh.
7 seasons, no money on the books. Fred VanVleet was Fred VanVleet an undrafted?
He was undrafted, yeah.
I think he turned down like a G League deal too.
7 years, all with Toronto. Last year, $21.2 million. What do you think? 7 seasons, 21.2, undrafted free agent.
21.2 is the highest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say $95 million.
All right, we're in the same range. I'm gonna go 99.
Kenny Caraway, ladies and gentlemen, $81.4 million. Remember, he had a 4-year
$1 million deal.
Remember, he had a
from like when he got as
So-
a second rounder, undrafted guy.
well. Remember, he had a 4-year, $85 million deal. He opted out of the last year,
Oh, that is sneaky.
so that's
That's sneaky. That's sneaky, Jesse. The way that happened, him opting out of that's sneaky.
his
I'll
first
take the win.
contract.
I'm not gonna complain, but that is sneaky.
His first contract was $583,000, 1.3, 8.6, 8.7, and then he had a second season. He had 21.2, 19.6, 21.2, opted out of the final year of that deal, which has him at $81.4 million.
So if he would have
in 7
opted in, he
seasons.
would have made $100 million.
Career earnings would have been $100 million. Yes.
That's sneaky. That is kind
I was cheated out of a win because he opted out. Are you serious?
Hey,
I'm 4-2 because of this.
4-2.
I need to keep the stats. There we go. I think I don't know if I'm at 500 yet. Let's just start the stats when I started getting them right. And that will put me at like 2-1.
You'd be at 2-1 if we did that.
No, don't worry. I've been keeping track. Right now, you're 2-4 since we've been playing Pocket Watchers. Okay?
Wait a minute.
We play each other. It's only me versus you. If I'm 4-2, you're 2-4.
I love this.
I'm
game.
on the come up.
Fred VanVleet. Well, man, hey, you look at bro, get that money.
Yeah.
If you
Hell
played
yeah.
if you played 7 seasons and you've made $81 million and you got the Houston Rockets offering you 2 years for $80 million,
Come on now.
my brother,
Come on now.
go get that jersey. Go get that Rockets jersey.
Yeah.
Live your life.
And he's still going to be, he plays well there. It's 2 years. Go get another $80 million deal. Not old.
What do you think is for someone in that profession,
Mhm.
not our profession, in that profession? What do you think's life-changing money?
$100 million. That's what they deem as life-changing.
So
I would deem $60 million as life-changing.
So I remember when Steph's Supermax went into effect.
Mhm.
It was like Steph is very, Steph has made, he was on that bargain contract, like whatever, like he's made tens and tens of millions of dollars, and just he's about to like hit the next cycle of life-changing money. But I always look at this number, like when we do this, I look at this number 81. Okay, cool. I'm gonna cut that straight in half and say 40 million. Like he's made $40 million. And I always wonder, like, what truly is just like your lifestyle changes forever when you make this dollar figure?
I'd say $100 million for them.
What is it for us? Like all of us, what's the moment where life changes?
The money I said Draymond should make.
when that tax return comes. You talking $10 million. I'm talking 100,000.
100,000.
Mm.
100,000. Wow.
We'll come back. We're talking numbers, man. Nobody better to talk numbers within our man Will Z. He's going to join us here in studio at the top of the hour. When D'Lo and KC return, D'Lo and KC brought to you by Sky River Casino and Sacramento Sports Leader ESPN 1320.
Houston might be setting themselves up for those 2026 free agents.
Boy.
You see that Draymond Dame picture?
No, I saw someone mention it. I didn't see it. Is Dame in Portland or is
like they're in the club. I don't know.
Oh Lord. Oh man, what y'all doing in here? Hold on, let's get over here. There we go. $50. I got you.
Of course. What's up, man? How you doing?
Oh man. Securing the beam. 10 million life-changing money. So 10 million I feel like is life-changing money. I feel like we get caught up in like $1 million and stuff. Like, I don't think $1 million is life-changing money. Yeah, it won't be bad, that's for sure. But like when you think about like $1 million, like you make $1 million a year. Obviously, you're good, you're eating, like you're living well, but you are working. Like you're not tucking yourself away on for the rest of your life on $1 million. You're still working for that. Again, not that it wouldn't be great, not that you wouldn't be, again, lights on, car's nice, the whole deal. You still working. I'm thinking about what's the number where you ain't working no more. Oh no, Katrina, that's rough. That's tough. I'm sure their music, it's just not for me. I don't know.
Babe Ruth and Joe Namath. Who are the other two that go on the overrated Mount Rushmore?
Joe Namath. What was the other one you said?
Babe Ruth is on there.
Babe Ruth, Joe Namath, another athlete.
Need two more.
Athlete that's overrated. Yeah, Joe Namath might be the most. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think more about that one. Overrated athletes. Yeah, that's a good point. Where did you go? Sam, that's a good point. Yeah. In California, $1 million is different than it is in Tennessee. That is for damn sure. I don't know, man. Brother makes it work. Makes it work. Aaron Rodgers isn't overrated. He's really good. You lucky Ramsey didn't block you in the chat for that. No misspelled words in there, Katrina. Oh, that's a good. Hey, Bob Cousy. Bob Cousy on the list?
Yeah, can I throw Jerry West in there?
Oh,
Jerry West goes in there, actually. Jerry West goes in there over Bob Cousy. We're coming back.
I ain't saying it. Jesse tried to take me down with him. I was like, nope.
He is. Jerry West.
What was the conversation? What's going on here?
So, go ahead.
We were doing a Mount Rushmore of most overrated athletes of all time. We got Babe Ruth and Joe Namath in there. I just threw Jerry West in there.
He threw Jerry West in there.
Settle down.
What do you mean settle down?
And look, I will say this. Babe Ruth, settle down. I mean, the guy did hit 700 home runs.
Yeah, in the whites only league.
Okay, that's fine. He still hit 700
yeah,
home runs.
He didn't. He hit 700 home runs in the whites only league.
I'm not disputing. So that doesn't.
It doesn't mean anything.
I'm not gonna call him overrated. I don't think he's the best player to ever play. I think that's Barry Bonds. But
people call him the best player ever, so he's overrated. He is not the best player ever. He's not even approaching the conversation of the best player ever. So by that definition, he's overrated.
Well, I don't call him the best player, so he's not overrated to me.
Well,
and he hit 714 home runs.
Come on, Kenny. That's how he's thought of, though. Like that's why he's overrated. Because Babe Ruth, generally speaking, Babe Ruth is up there. They'll put him up there with.
I don't think he's on a Mount Rushmore of overrated. There are more overrated players who weren't as good as Babe Ruth.
Jerry West is up there though.
I think
Jerry West
man,
is
Jerry
not
West,
up
Jerry
Jerry
West,
West,
bro.
Jerry West is the logo
bro.
when he's nicknamed
Stop
Mr.
that.
Clutch for losing to
So-
Bill Russell all the time.
Yeah, Jerry West made like 14 straight All-Star games. Like, dude, Jerry West kind of a bucket.
I get it, but
Jerry
the
West kind of a
story-
bucket, bro.
That's fine, but the story. So was Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth was a home run hitter. Okay. But
Yeah.
the story they tried to tell.
Jerry, okay, this is your Celtics stuff coming out right now.
No.
Jerry just couldn't beat the Celtics. That's all it is. He
I'm
couldn't
sorry.
beat
I'm
the
young.
Celtics.
I can't fathom a guy being named Mr. Clutch when all he
Okay.
did was lose.
Now
the
that's a
finals.
little weird.
Well, look,
And he's the
That's a
logo.
little weird.
You know where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go back at him a little bit. I'd probably throw Kevin McHale on there.
I'm not gonna ride for any old Celtics players. That's fine.
Kevin
Is
McHale.
Kevin McHale a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
Oh, they're all. Oh, that whole
And
group is a Hall of
Robert
Famer.
Parrish is probably even more overrated.
But he's not Jerry West level overrated.
Wow, bro, Jerry West, like he averaged 27 on his career.
That's fine. I'm just saying, like the story they tell about Jerry, like Jerry should have won more titles or something.
The views and experiences expressed by Jesse Tapia are not that of
What were we just? Oh, it was Kevin Durant. See, you're doing what Kevin Durant said. You're equating his personal success to the team's success.
So,
Ramsey.
it is a Ramsey line. So,
Will Chamberlain was there, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, and they
he was
won.
losing
That's
too.
when they won.
Will Chamberlain losing too?
There, Will's fourth. On the
Oh, you
list,
mean
though.
Wilt was with Jerry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jerry had players.
Elgin Baylor. Elgin Baylor may be one of the more underrated players in NBA history.
That's facts. So, Elgin Baylor's soiled, I think, by being stuck with the Sterling era Clippers.
Yeah. I think Elgin retired when they went on that 33-game win streak.
Bro, this man, he averaged 9 assists like 3 times.
Yeah, he's a really good player. So was Babe Ruth.
Wow.
Uh-oh. Don't talk to our guy about this one. Don't talk to our guy about this one.
Bret Hart is overrated.
Don't talk to Chris about this one.
I mean, Bret Hart. Bret Hart's not overrated. He's an incredible wrestler. I don't feel like his promos were ever very good. Like
no,
he
he didn't get good until he got into this Canada bag.
Like that 97 was by far the best stretch of his career from March of 97 till November when he left. That was the best stretch of his entire career. And it's not even close. Like that was his best.
Yeah, for sure. I'd have to think about
He's
that.
not the greatest wrestler.
Babe Ruth and Jerry West shouldn't be on that list.
I don't think Jerry West should be on this. I'm perfectly okay. I will champion Babe Ruth being on that list. Joe Namath, first ballot. Joe Namath is first ballot overrated.
Once again, what do we think about Joe Namath, though?
People just talk about Joe Namath like he was good.
Like you're talking about like the general sports like Joe Namath is regarded as something that it greatly like is not what he is.
I don't think so.
Joe put on a
I guess we watch different ESPN.
They talk about the one game. Nobody says Joe Namath is great. Like up there with Montana.
Joe Namath gets talked about like he's a legend.
Let's move
He
on.
won the only Super Bowl in Jets history.
That fur coat was fake too.
And that does not mean anything. Tell that man he had a fake fur coat.
Who's the Joe Namath of today? Because Joe Namath was what the other part of it was. I mean, he was an unbelievable. Well, I don't want to say unbelievable, but he was selling a lot of stuff.
Rudy Gobert when they gave him $200 million and 4 first-round picks.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert is not on anybody's commercials or ads.
I don't know.
Is it Dak Prescott? Dak's a better quarterback.
Could be Dak.
Dak's a better quarterback than Joe
Namath.
Namath.
Yeah, but you're not comparing Dak to Joe Namath. You're
Right.
comparing Dak to the crop of quarterbacks today.
Right.
Like where does he
And
rank
Dak
with Pat?
He's
Joe?
got his commercials.
He's the Cowboys quarterback. Yeah, it's just like if Joe Namath was the Colts quarterback, no one would care. But it was the New
Jimmy
York
Garoppolo?
Jets. Nah, because truthfully, I don't think anybody.
He's on a Subway. He's on a Subway commercial.
You got it. It's Dak. People talk about Dak as if he's like a top tier
I
quarterback.
think you were
when he's
right the
Kirk.
first time. Yeah, I think it's Dak.
I think,
people
but I
don't
think
care about Jimmy Garoppolo.
I'm just saying though, Jimmy is a salesman.
Nope.
I don't think that he is.
Nobody cares about Jimmy anymore either.
Yeah, like
Well,
I think you're wrong.
No, he's not on the
I think
Niners, of course.
You're right. Like you were right, and now you're ruining it. Like you were right. It's Dak.
But I think
that's
Dak
perfect. That's the perfect comp.
I think Dak is a better quarterback than Joe Namath was.
But you're not. But compare Dak to the crop of quarterbacks now.
Mhm.
Like I think he's probably lower on the list. Like I think that's the perfect example. Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't think anybody even thinks about Jimmy Garoppolo, except you.
I'm not sure if anybody thought about Joe Namath. He just won the Super Bowl, and then all of a sudden, like, did anybody think about Joe Namath?
I wasn't around. I don't know. I wasn't there.
It's Terry Bradshaw.
You would be terrible with Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. You'd be awful.
Is Terry Bradshaw overrated?
Yeah, that's one I don't understand. Like he's
got the 4 championships, right?
Yeah, but like, okay, Kevin Durant. Was the team good or is the player good? I mean, that's Steelers decade. Steelers decade into the 49ers decade into the Cowboys decade.
Don't they say that Troy Aikman's got similar career stats to like Jeff Garcia or some quarterback like that?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Troy gets the rub from Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith and like those that
offensive line
that decade
was crazy,
loaded with Hall of Famers.
Yeah. Yo, it's the second time I've seen this. I'm about to sock somebody in the jaw. I'm gonna sock him in the throat.
You ain't gonna sock John Poles. I can guarantee you that.
Look, what's that? What's that? That's
you ain't gonna give John Poles the he got game treatment.
Dr. David out here talking about Steve Young was overrated. Oh, he's a 2-time MVP. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Watch your mouth.
All right. A little sensitive.
One of the most accurate quarterbacks in the history of the game. Show some respect.
Of course, Ramsey agrees with him.
I agree.
I love Ramsey, man. He's so funny.
Mark Wong.
So damn
Bring it
funny.
full circle. Mark Wong.
Draymond Green.
Draymond is on the Mount Rushmore.
When all else fails.
Put him up there next to Jerry West, huh?
Well, wait till Jerry. I will not co-sign Jerry West being on this list. Absolutely not. What sparked this? What made you ask that?
I don't know. I just be thinking about random stuff sometimes. Will's here. I'm gonna bring him in.
Okay, go get Will. You're listening to D-Lo and KC on KIFM, West Sacramento 98.5 FM, KRX QHD2 Sacramento, ESPN 1320, always live on the free Odyssey app. I feel bad for Kim. Every time someone rings that buzzer, Kim has to get up and go let them in. What's up? Look at Will got the butt down. Will, look at Will. I feel like I should hit the Shawn Michaels music, man. All right, Will, let's bring our man Will Z in here.
in the house, man. You know, he got a little something on the hair. You know, to slick it back.
Look at this man right here. He's got the
fresh.
Got the tight sleeves and the arms popping out a little bit. What's up, man?
What's up, guys?
How are you?
Good.
Yeah, you nervous?
A little bit. It's just different being in here.
Yeah,
than at home,
it's literally the same exact thing we do every week. It's all good, man. What's going on, Will?
Oh, not too much. Just have that baby life. So, but
how's it going? How's it going? It's good.
Yeah, we hit a good stride.
A month now, month and a half.
Yeah, 4 weeks yesterday.
Okay, nice.
So, yeah, happy to be here. This is my last week of leave, so figure I got some time to come in, spend an hour in the studio. Might as well do it now.
Yeah, it's a good call, man.
We love having you here, man.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. Obviously, we're all going through a range of emotions.
Yeah,
dealing with Will hits me yesterday. Hey, I'm putting together a Kyle Kuzma article. Great. Get that article posted during the show.
Yep.
About 2:45. Well, all right. Well, we're all putting in our work. We're basically working day to day at this point with the latest rumor, and the latest rumor is the article that you wrote before that, which was about why the Sacramento Kings should keep Harrison Barnes. Let's get this, because this is where I think so many people are split. Kenny, James, the Chatty House, people listening. if what we saw on draft day,
Mm-hmm.
you lose, you move the 24 pick, you're able to get off the Rashawn Holmes money, you clear up a bunch of cap space, you get this opportunity, you're able to re-sign Domantas Sabonis, Harrison Barnes comes back, Trey Lyles comes back, say Sasha comes over. Is that a disappointment?
I think it's only a disappointment if, like you guys have been saying, if those other players don't take the jumps that we're expecting, especially Keegan. Like, they were so good last year, and I think people might be forgetting how good they were. And I wrote about it with the Barnes stuff, and it was kind of funny. It was less work to do instead of it being like a third name. I was like, great, I'll just repost the Barnes article. This is easy work. But like, he's just such a perfect fit for this team in that kind of role that he fills. So different than like Kuzma would have been, that I think it'll be disappointing at first. But when we see them back on the floor together and see hopefully that growth, then I think people may be a little surprised at how well that kind of cohesion and continuity is.
And I wasn't going to argue with James Ham on his vacation, you know what I mean? But he said something where he was talking about how, it's about wins and losses. And that's how you determine. Well, I don't know how we determine that on July 15th.
Yeah, we won't. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
if
they don't do anything and they win 7 more games this year, is it still a fail? Like, how do we determine that?
Yeah.
So we don't know. Now, I can understand the feeling. I was excited about the possibility of Kuz or, all this money, they had to do something. And I understand the feeling that when you bring back Harrison Barnes, you don't spend much more of that money. It is a little disappointing in that respect. But you got to get past that and look at what's actually going down. They can be a better team next year, record-wise, how far they go in the playoffs with Harrison Barnes. That is 100% plausible.
And I think it'll be the most disappointing if it's just Barnes. Because, like, when we were talking a week or two ago, when they had like the $20-25 million in cap space, like, you were looking at like just Barnes, just Kuz before we saw that 30 million come out. But I think I'll be disappointed if it's just Barnes and then they roll with like Keon and Kata as some backups. Like, what are you doing with that extra 10 million? Like, can you bring in, now we're looking at the possibility of, can you bring in Barnes and Oubre? Then we just can scrap that whole thing where I said you bring in Oubre instead of Barnes, because that feels like a mistake at this point anyway. But there's just so many more possibilities now with that kind of second slot available, depending on that Barnes number and what's left over after the possible Sabonis renegotiation.
Sometimes we talk like just because the money is there and then it's available, that it's going to be spent the way we want it to. And
takes 2 to tango.
Yeah, it could, like, I don't know this. I haven't inquired about this. I can certainly poke around the league to find out. This is just an assumption on my part. I think Monty's trying to do something.
Oh yeah,
like I believe
so.
I believe he, whatever. But like sometimes we think our plan, our execution is what Monty's thinking.
Right.
And I think we're 0 for like 3 years in terms of thinking we know what Monty McNair is doing. So I don't know if he liked Kyle Kuzma or likes Kyle Kuzma. I think he does. I have no idea. I don't know how he feels about Kelly Oubre or Cam Johnson or PJ Washington or Miles Bridges or any other player that has come up in a conversation. I don't know how he feels about OG Anunoby, but it's like he's trying. Like, I have to believe that. Like, he's trying to put together a team that has an opportunity to win a championship next year. But just because if a situation comes up where it's Harrison, it's Trey, it's Keon, it's Sasha, all right, well, I guess Monty's got to try harder next year. Like, I don't really know what to say about that. Like, I don't think he's sitting on his hands not doing anything.
Right. And like I was telling James, all you can do, in my opinion, all you can do is put yourself in the position and give yourself the best pitch. If a guy is not at that point in his career where he cares about winning more than how many shots he puts up or trying to make it all,
or an extra $2-3 million.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's not what that doesn't. If where I would have a problem is if they were asleep at the wheel, so to speak, and a guy, let's just say Kuzma for argument's sake, Like, oh, I would have went to the Kings, but they just didn't have the cap room to. Okay, now I'll be like, yo, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you could have created the cap room. You could have created a situation where guys wanted to come and you didn't do that. That's not what happened here. You did your part. You're going to talk to people. You have no control of whether somebody trades with you or whether they want to come to Sacramento and play basketball. You have no control. So I don't look, if they came out of this free agency with Harrison Barnes and Grant Williams and Sasha came over, that's not a failure. That wouldn't have been my first, second, third options.
I'd love
but I
that.
also don't look at that as a failure.
You like Grant Williams?
I do. I think I like him more than, especially you, Kenny. I like his shooting. You guys were saying the numbers earlier. A little bit better than Trey. I don't know if you can have him, Trey, and Sasha on the team together. That seems like a lot of redundancy at that 4 spot, 4/5. But I like him with his defensive tenacity and that kind of shooting ability. He's not a great variety scorer. He's not going to score in like that multiple spots on the floor, but he is definitely a good stretch four that plays defense.
I don't know what the answer is. I'll say that. I don't know what the answer is.
The answer to what? Well, I was about to say what the answer is, but what do you mean?
Any of the questions?
Well, if it's a failure or not, you're gonna have to wait till the end of the season.
Oh, that
saying it's a failure.
Well, I didn't say failure. I said disappointment.
There's a difference. That is a little disappointment.
Yeah, because I think you're or James talking about winning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that starts when the regular season gets here. I don't think anybody's going to be thinking game 1 of the regular season about what went on in free agency.
Right.
We're talking how people are going to feel from Friday through the California Classic through Summer League, and then once training camp gets here, I think that starts to subside a little bit, and everyone's just excited for the season.
Mm-hmm.
But this is our fix for Kings basketball is right now.
Oh yeah,
and it's the Kyle Kuzma talk, it's the OG Anunoby talk, it's the Harrison Barnes talk. Like, this is our fix right now until Monday.
I give everybody, once things are official, I give everybody 48 hours. Then it's time to move on. It's not a disappointment no more.
You can't look back and think, what if?
I give you 48 hours to get your tweets off, to call in to D-Lo and KC, to get in the chatty house and talk about how upset you are and how you wanted more to be done. Because once again, I understand the feeling. I'm not saying I don't understand the feeling. I get it. But at that point, once it's done, we know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
We know what it is. We know what you got. You look at this team, there's still a team that won 48 games last year.
Mm-hmm.
You expect somebody like Keegan Murray to get better next year. Maybe that's good enough for a win or two. You expect these guys to bring in at least one person from free agency. Hopefully that's good for a win or two. Sasha, if he's as good as people think he might be, maybe that's good for a win or two. You improve by 4 to 5 games. I don't know what your seed is because of how the conference may be. But if you improve, then no, it's not. The disappointment will subside once we got the number 1 seed or something like that.
Yeah. In 2 weeks, we're going to be falling all in love with Kobe Jones and Slauson too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just that kind of what's next on the offseason to-do list is California Classic, see them play a little, and that's who we'll be talking about, I'm sure.
Yeah, off to Vegas,
Yeah.
do it again, and then things will quiet down a little bit. And by the way, we're not the only ones struggling to answer this. The ESPN.com had an article up today in which I think they, each, I think 5 of their, writers went over like specific questions for this upcoming free agency period. One of them was, what team has the most to prove during this upcoming free agency period? Tim Bontemps named the Bucks. Tim McMahon named the Houston Rockets. The other 3 writers named the Sacramento Kings. Now, I point that out because I look at this line here. Sacramento Kings, I'd love to see them make a big move. I'm going to read the rest of that to you, by the way. I'd love to see them make a big move. They can create $36 million in cap space by renouncing Harrison Barnes and Trey Lyles. According to ESPN's Bobby Marks, the Kings showed they can contend, gained valuable playoff experience, and now in the position to add an impact player to build on the momentum they created this past season. The end. And go to the other one. The big question for Kings fans, front office, import some new talent during free agency that can help them get more stops. Great. What's the other one say? They've been tied to a number of forwards, including Draymond Green. They can use the space. Could be an interesting subplot over the next week. None of them listed who they think the Kings should target. Not one single person.
Just a blanket statement.
Yeah, I'd love to see the Kings make a big move. Okay, sir. Who are you talking about?
Well, look,
what's a big move?
The reason why I chuckled, and this may not be the writer's fault, it's all content. What does that even mean? Who has the most to prove this also? What does that mean? What does it mean? What does that mean? Well, we proved that we're going to win a championship because we spent money on Grant Williams. What is the wording's wrong? What does that mean?
Hell, I don't know, Kenny. You've been really difficult the last 30 minutes. I can't lie. Ever since Joe Namath came up and Babe Ruth, I read
that. You said that right. Like, who has the most to prove this offseason?
That's what it says, yeah.
The hell does that even mean? Somebody tell me what it means and I'll stop asking.
I'm just hung up. You completely like destroyed my point, so I don't really know what to go to next. So I'll just turn it over to you. I just thought it was funny that 3 people answered Sacramento and not one of them had a single suggestion about what they should do. Not what they did. They could have said Kyle Kuzma. They could have said make an offer sheet for Cam. They all just make a big move. What? What is the move that you're go get Giannis? All right, shoot, I would have respected that. Go get right. Steph Curry.
Right.
Hey, you got my attention. They offered nothing.
It feels like there's only like 4 big moves in free agency, which is Cam, Jeremy Grant, Kuzma.
I don't even think Kuzma's.
I don't know.
Kuzma's
large move.
I think I put Kuzma in a big move category. Yeah. For this team at least.
Yeah.
For the Kings.
Okay.
Money wise, it's definitely a big move.
Okay, that's fair.
But I've poured over the spreadsheets and the free agent options for like hours on end trying to find the secret answer.
It's not healthy, Will.
I know it's not. I keep expecting to just like think of a bright idea that hasn't hit me yet.
He's gonna have this moment where he's looking at his spreadsheet. Aha!
Yeah. If you take this and that,
I'm gonna tweet Monty McNair right now.
But it feels like to me the big move is the lot of little moves, which I just keep coming back to, which is like the Barnes, the Trey, one other, and Sasha. Mm-hmm. Like, can you do those 4 along with the draft picks that you bring in, and then have some flexibility at the trade deadline again? I don't know. I just don't know if there's one singular big move by any team in free agency out there this offseason.
Yeah, I don't see it either. I mean, the Warriors made a big move. Are we saying that they've gone up because they made a move or made a big splash? Like,
it feels so lateral.
Well, they made it. I think they made a longer term impactful move just by moving off the $120 million.
Yeah, and from what I hear,
you can argue whether they got better or not. I don't know.
But from what I hear, that only, and it still matters, that only got them out of the luxury. That didn't.
Well, that's a big deal now, though, because they're not flirting with the second tax apron anymore, so they can continue to use MLEs and things like that to, because clearly they're committed to dying by their 3 guys. Mm-hmm. So that's the only way you're going to be able to add to this team.
Oh, that's also before the Dre and Clay extension. So they may find themselves. It wouldn't be second apron, but they may find themselves close to that money again with what they signed. But I mean, the whole point of that is like,
I'm convinced now it's 3 years, $120 million for Draymond Green tomorrow.
Well, that's Bill Simmons said with the Kings play 4 years and 180.
Oh gosh, a 37-year-old Draymond.
Nah, bro.
4 years and 180.
Draymond making $45 million.
That would disappoint me. There's the disappointment.
Man,
I'd be disappointed with that.
Y'all want them to spend. Y'all want change. Oh, be careful what you ask for. Oh, goodness gracious.
Man,
I'm fine that not being the move. Let's step out. Will sticking around with us for the rest of the day, man. We'll talk more Kings basketball. We'll talk more NBA basketball. Here's D'Lo and KC continue on Sacramento Sports Leader ESPN 1320. There's probably something to tighten. I can do it. You know, I got you.
I think this is it. There we go. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, man. Good to see you.
My man, Will Z.
Yeah, of course.
What's up, Big Will?
Oh, not too much.
Good to see you. Me too.
Yeah, there we go.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Oh.
Man, that is a great season. That Victor Wembanyama season.
Oh yeah, he did that. This dude, I was just about to say, isn't this dude like the LeBron of this draft for hockey?
Oh, is he?
He's like the next great one.
Yeah, he's supposed to be.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's supposed
Jesse
to be.
thinks he's overrated.
We'll see.
Domas ran 225 miles this season. Harrison Barnes ran 219.
They ran a lot. They were like one of the highest running teams on defense.
Yeah, Tatum and Brown are on here too. I mean, clearly it was Miami because they got 2 guys on here. They got 3 guys on here. The Celtics and the Kings. Oh, Caleb Martin. They got 4 guys on here.
Oof.
Man, Miami was moving.
That's what I think with Barnes, if he comes back especially, is can you just play him like 5 minutes less per game? Keep him a little fresher throughout the season? Maybe that'll help with the playoff stuff.
I guess it depends on what else they do
I know.
at that position.
I'm starting to get a little more sold on like the Barnes and Oubre combo. Because I think you could fit that
I'd like
money-wise. Oubre off the bench, much more palatable than him as a starter, I think, for a lot of people.
Shout out Leezy for that video he put together last night. We got our Kyle Kuzma video up at the last minute.
I'm glad I wrote that article when I did. It took off too. It was a
I'm
good
glad
one.
I was able to get it posted during the show.
I got real comfortable on this computer real quick. I already got my
There you
stat
go.
sites all pulled up.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, man. Cameron's still in here talking about Dak. Talking about Dak is good. No, I think Dak is good. He definitely is good. Oh, Thomas Bryant. Yeah,
I like Thomas Bryant.
Backup idea.
There's a ton of great like backup big options.
Hold up. That kid is 17 years old?
They say he's next.
Damn. Wow.
They say he is next.
Is Russell Wilson overrated?
No.
I don't think so either. Oubre does nothing well. Damn, I am not him. That's a lot.
Jesus.
If they
He takes risks on defense, which pay off. Can hurt the defense a little bit. Just rein it in a touch. Long arms, athleticism.
What were you going to say, Jesse?
I was gonna say if they brought in like Grant Williams and Thomas Bryant to go with Barnes, I think that makes this whole thing a little bit better. Makes it a lot better, actually.
That's a lot. So
Because Bryant's not really going to be worth like you get him with a minimum. It depends what Grant would get, I guess.
Yeah. But like, so you have
That
Brian
wouldn't work.
as your backup.
It wouldn't work because in that I'm not bringing back Trey Lyles, I guess.
Okay. And you also kind of said FK to.
I'm not with the G Leaguers.
Wow. Well, Jesse hates development. Damn. Our man Will Z, kind enough to join us live here in studio as we really just look to put another day behind us. That's all we're trying to do at this point is just get to Friday at 3:00.
We're just trying to survive.
We're almost there, fam. We are almost there. We're either going to be elated or disappointed. I don't think there's going to be an in-between anymore. With the way people reacted, there was no tweet by James Ham, myself, or anyone else that said Harrison Barnes has signed a deal with the Sacramento Kings.
Mm-hmm.
Just the mere fact that the two parties started talking again sent the Kings fan base, particularly the vocal ones on social media, into a tailspin last night.
At like 10:30 too, right?
James, so cute. Hey, I was obviously communicating with James last night. We're going back and forth on a few things. Like, hey, if we run with this, like, give me a heads up. Let me know what we're doing. James, bless his heart, texts me at 10:30 because he just doesn't know. I'm probably in some REM sleep at that point. Hey, sent the tweet. Cool, man. Woke up at 4:50. Okay, James, I'll retweet it now. I'll retweet it for the early crowd. But I of course, I see it, and I see the engagement that it got, and I saw the reaction. And again, James did not report that Harrison and Sacramento, reached an agreement. Just the fact that the two parties started talking again sent Kings fan base into a little bit of a fuss.
And once again, I'm not trying to speak holier than thou. When I saw that information, I wanted Kuzma. It was like, dang. I was hoping it was Kuzma.
It feels like we all talked ourselves into it.
Oh,
that definitely happened.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That definitely happened.
I wanted Kuzma. So there is a letdown from there. Like, I get it. But after 15 minutes, I was like, Harrison Barnes don't really change nothing with what I think this team can do next year. Like I said, it's going to have to look different. I mentioned earlier, if Harrison's back, he's not going to uplift this group the way I thought maybe Kuzma could help them get to another level, or OG or Jeremy Grant. It's going to have to be those other guys stepping their games up to get to another level. But we probably asked for that anyway, right? Like we asked the other day, like, hey, De'Aaron, can you get to 27? Domas, can you get to 20 and 13? Kevin Huerter, I need you to play a little better. Keegan, we're looking for you to take. These are things we're asking for anyway. So the thing, and some people may look at it as a negative, and it comes off with a negative connotation. I get that. That's not necessarily how I mean it. Harrison's going to give you what he's going to give you. He's not going to improve his game or step his game up, I don't believe. But I don't think he's also going to fall off a cliff. I think he's going to be 14, 15 a night, you know what I mean? And 4 rebounds, 2-3 assists. That's what you're getting. And now everybody else has to rise up just a little bit if you want to elevate as a team.
So one of the things that I wrote about in the Barnes article is why I think Barnes is such a good fit for this team, and we saw it last year, is he's one of the lowest usage rates with the highest production. Like usage rate to production, he gives you so much. So he scored 20 points on 13 or fewer field goals 16 times. That's the second most in the NBA last year, second to Sabonis, funny enough. And his usage rate was 16.8%. And he averaged 15 points with that low of a usage rate. Of the 208 players that had a usage rate of 17% or lower, Barnes ranked first with 15 points per game. So he's giving you the ability, in my eyes, to run the offense through Fox and Sabonis and still add more points with that lower usage than a lot of other players can give you. And I think a lot of that comes from his ability to get to the free throw line and just knock down those shots.
You heard the man.
Yeah.
We all owe him an apology. Y'all ain't been acting right when it comes to Harrison.
Yeah.
Y'all owe him an apology. Let me ask you both. I'm gonna go Kenny Caraway on Corners of the Culture right now. Let me ask you a question. Which reminds me, Jesse, we have to record something immediately after the show for Corners of the Culture, and I'm gonna need your help. Let's if we said Kyle Kuzma is a 10, what's Harrison?
7.
I went 8.
That's fair too. That's fine.
PJ Washington is a 10. What's Harrison?
8. So here's the thing. I think, and I don't mean to kill we can keep going. I don't want to kill your questions and asking.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think Harrison is not as good as probably anybody you're going to name. So he's always going to be a little lower, but just a little lower.
That's the point. That's the
Just a
point I
little
was
lower.
getting at.
Yeah.
The reaction to the player in comp with the other players doesn't add up. It doesn't work. Like you're reacting as if I think some of the reaction is as if we're going from Michael Jordan to Bobby Hansen and not in game 6 of the finals. Just every other game.
We get Bobby Hansen, boy. We are cooking.
That 3 points Bobby Hansen scored just changed the course of history.
I thought he had 22.
But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about players if we use the tiering system, we're talking about players in a similar tier. So what that tells me is you're worried less about getting better and more worried about getting different. You've sold yourself on that. You know everything there is to know about Harrison Barnes, and you're positive that whoever your favorite option is at this position is significantly better. You've sold yourself on Kyle Kuzma is significantly better than Harrison Barnes. Now, if you told me, yeah, Kyle Kuzma is a little bit better than Harrison, he does some things better. You pointed out the rebounding. Like that's a big deal. For me, if we started right there, that's simple. Conversation last night, conversation today, conversation right now. HB, we do want you back. Like we'd love to have you here. Here's what my expectations are for you. You're going to have to rebound better than you did last year. And like that, that's got to be a part of the conversation. Yeah. But the reaction to again, just talks between Harrison and Sacramento don't match up with the type of player that Harrison Barnes is. Yeah. I think it's the fact that he's been here. I think the playoff series is living in a lot of people's heads, unfortunately. And I think it's just a totally disproportionate reaction. If there was a player that was like, whoa, if there was an NBA player, it was just, whoa, the Kings got a shot at whoa. And then you find out it's Harrison. Okay, I got you. Kyle Kuzma's not whoa. Right. Cam Johnson might be whoa.
Hey, whoa.
But he ain't whoa yet.
Yeah.
Like that player's not there right now. So like we've got to balance our need for wanting this team to be better and just wanting this team to be different.
Yeah, 100%. And that's kind of what I get at when I say it shouldn't be a disappointment. Like I said, I'll give you guys 48 minutes. I might even do that like restricted free agency and cut it down to 24 hours. Okay. You know, disappointment. No,
just cut it down to a phone call.
Right.
This should take place. You talk about stuff that should just happen on TV. Monty McNair FaceTiming Sean Marks. Hey, we're signing Cam signed our offer sheet.
All right.
What are you doing? Like yes or no? Like we're on live TV. What are you doing? That's how it should work.
That would be some good stuff. They could put that. League Pass wouldn't be overpriced for that.
There you go. Shout out to the.
I don't mean.
I think so. It was the Rockets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like these guys, we always said when Kuzma, for example, put up 21 points a game last year, he's not going to put up 21 points a game here. It was going to be closer to 16, 17. It wasn't going to be that much better than what Harrison gave you. Now, the rebounding numbers would be better. Defensively, probably about the same. I don't think he's this lockdown guy. But to your point, that's what it was. It was these marginal things that, yeah, could help improve you, you know, and help improve your team. But once again, it ain't whoa. Like you said, it's not. They had a chance to get that guy, and they whiffed at it, and it's not that, man. So Harrison.
There's also
back,
sorry, a difference between whiffing at it and you never had a chance at it.
Exactly.
Those aren't the same things either. Again, just because the money is there, just because the money can be offered, doesn't mean you can get it. Just doesn't mean that you can sign that player.
Right now, it feels like Monty has done his due diligence. He's created the space to be able to make something happen if something's available. I don't know if anything's available.
I personally blame Sean Marks. I think Sean Marks is the one who screwed this whole thing up. Either Sean Marks or Rich Paul. One of those two screwed this up. Because I'm riding with OG or Cam Johnson. And I love blaming Sean Marks for everything that goes wrong, so I'm going to blame Sean Marks.
Works for me.
Well, and I'll say this. With OG, I think what he wanted was kind of out of Rich Paul's hands.
Yeah, it probably wasn't Rich Paul's fault at all.
Masai Ujiri was like, whatever. I want.
Yeah, they're not doing. So here's a question I was thinking about earlier. I don't think we asked on the show. We were talking about Fred VanVleet. Is there a chance Toronto is riding on what Fred VanVleet does? Like because I mean, no one talks about it. Like Fred VanVleet can just sign back with Toronto, but if he does in fact take that money and go to Houston, does Masai Ujiri finally look at it like, all right, let's go in a different direction here, or are they, or is it inconsequential what Fred VanVleet does?
What you think, Will?
I don't know. Toronto's so confusing. It feels like they have to have a point guard. Like their point guard situation is just so weird because they're so wing heavy. So I wouldn't be surprised if it centers so much on that. And almost I'd rather them wait on OG. Like I'll be more disappointed if they trade OG to another team than if they don't trade him at all, because that means we could get a second chance at him at the trade deadline maybe. But it does kind of feel like they're just constantly in that sit and wait, and Masai just isn't going to lose a deal in his eyes.
And I feel like from all the talk that I heard during the season, maybe they aren't waiting on Fred VanVleet because it feels like it was over during the season. Like they knew Fred wasn't coming back.
Well, they didn't trade him though.
No, maybe it was a little past the deadline. Well, I thought it was maybe around the deadline too. So maybe they could have traded him, but maybe they're wishing upon a star.
Sure.
And Fred is like, I don't know what you guys are doing this for. I'm out. But I remember that was the talk that it was just all bad. Because what did he do? Didn't he fire his agent in the middle of the season? Fred VanVleet?
Yeah, I think he's with Clutch.
He's with Clutch now?
I think so.
Yeah, I thought he fired his agent around the trade deadline or something like that.
I didn't know Davion changed agents.
I didn't know that either.
He talked about it on the.
Who's he with?
I have no idea. I didn't know about it until I listened to the pod. I didn't research it when I got home, when I got done listening to it. I swear Fred VanVleet is with Clutch, but now I'm just stuck on it. Now I'm looking. Now it brings I searched Fred VanVleet Clutch and Clutch shooting from Fred VanVleet. Like that's not what I wanted. It's a different kind of Clutch.
Isn't it Clutch with a K?
It is.
Here's
he is.
Yeah.
He is.
In February.
Now I want to know who's Dave.
Yeah, for the trade deadline.
Yeah.
You got rid. So Clutch lost OG, but gained Fred VanVleet.
There you go.
It happens. It's part of the game.
And it is. It is.
It's hard to figure out what Toronto's doing though. Toronto.
It's hard to figure out what any of these teams are doing. Davion's with CAA. Good for him.
Oh, nice.
That's where OG.
That's who I think. I was going to say. I think that's who OG's with now. Y'all agents control a lot of.
They control everything.
They really do.
Like that's that. Like I almost don't ever want to hear too much about agents because it's almost like showing how the sausage is made or whatever. Like because when you get down to it, they run everything. They run everything. They can set up a move in 2023 that's going to set up a move with the same exact team for 2025. Like they run everything. And it's like, oh man, the general managers don't have no power.
Well, they do because they got to manage those relationships too. Like, so much of this stuff is managing relationships. Like, look at what your boy Danny Ainge did in the last. Like, that's relationship stuff. Yeah. That's relationships, like general manager stuff. That's relationships, agent stuff. That's why you see so many teams getting sweetheart deals. And we're not getting any.
Right. So, somebody said
we ain't got enough equity yet.
Somebody said that with the agents and the general managers, it's always like, all right, as a general manager, I'll look out for you right here and sign your guy to this contract. As long, you look out on the back end with another player. And they're like, it never comes back around. It never happens on the other
one. But in that same discussion, it's like, no, you're going to move this player. Because if you don't, that long list of clients I have will never take a meeting with you ever again, regardless of what city you're in.
Right. That's wild.
They run it.
There are agents in the league right now that don't like Sacramento.
But what's his name on the list? Bagley's guy? Remember he wrote
I think Bagley's,
but that's
Bill Duffy, I think.
It was, I thought it was somebody else.
Maybe not. Maybe it's not Bill Duffy.
Because he came out with the article, but I think he does have a Kings player on his.
I think you're talking about Jeff Schwartz, and I'm pretty sure his Kings player was Barnes.
Yeah, Jeff Schwartz is XL. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Jeffy, baby.
Jeff, what's good, baby? We big fans of XL
Let's
Sports
talk.
Management. Come here, Jeff. Let me holler at you, play. Well, but the thing is, though. Like Monty, that wasn't me. That ain't me.
Yeah.
That was Vladdy. That was Joe or Peja or whoever the hell was in charge. Wasn't me. I got you. Let's sit down. You know Wes. Wes from Atlanta. Come on, man. Let's go. Let's talk. Yeah,
Wes.
You know Wes. Wes.
You know Wes.
It really feels like it should be reset every time you have a new general manager.
Oh, you have to. Yeah. I don't think it's not a vendetta against the city. Yeah. Unless, of course, an owner gets involved, and then you have an agent that just hates an owner. And I don't think that's the case.
Yeah.
Much like the fan base, I think a lot of the venom was reserved for Vlade Divac. Vlade Divac, the general manager, of course, not Vlade Divac.
Although Monty wasn't his thing was like they were promised something and they didn't deliver. They were promised to move him or something like that. That was Monty as general manager.
The Jeff Schwartz article. Yeah, I think that came that was, if I remember right, that was right before the start of when we learned Marvin wasn't gonna start, and I feel like it might have been said Marvin wasn't gonna play.
Yeah,
like he didn't
out of the rotation.
Fit. So and like I don't
demanded a trade or something.
I don't fault Jeff for like your job is to protect your client. In that situation, you probably do have to say something. It's an embarrassing situation. He's the former number 2 pick in the draft. A good agent would say something. But yeah, let's talk about Harrison now. Come on, Jeff. Let's sit down and talk. Man. But XL Sports is a big place. I don't know that Jeff. I don't know if he represents Harrison Barnes, but I know his agency certainly does.
We should all be agents.
Let's do it.
Start an agency.
It's I'll say this. When you go to negotiate your contract, it's a lot easier to fight for someone else than it is yourself. Because you like agents, like think about whatever your first reaction is to an agent. And it's normally something negative, right? Or if you're in a position of power, if you're a general manager, if you're a vice president of a cluster of radio stations, your first reaction to an agent is probably, but that's because they're going to fight for you. Like I could fight for you and I can fight for Jesse and I'll talk you guys up to death. But when I have to fight for myself, it's really difficult because you're essentially going in there and saying, listen, let me tell you why I'm great. I'm going to tell you I'm going to tell you why you can't live without me. That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
In the salary cap world, though, it's interesting. That's why I did the stuff in the WNBA. It was easy.
Yeah.
You're either a max player or you're not.
Right.
I never negotiated a contract.
It just is what it is.
She's a max player. Like there's nothing to discuss.
Right.
4 years. How much can you get? That's the dollar figure. Send it over. We'll e-sign it, and it's over. Like it's that simple. And max contracts in the WNBA are not max. That's why I don't blame LeBron. Like, I feel bad for Aaron Goodwin. Like, LeBron dumped Aaron Goodwin when his second deal was coming up. But what contract has Rich Paul ever had to negotiate?
Right.
Nothing.
He just had to figure out what the parameters were for what's the deal Cleveland can sign, what's the deal Miami can sign, what's the deal that staying with a team versus leaving a team can sign, because I'm never going to sign anything less than the most amount of money you can pay my client. Now, he's negotiated for his other clients, of course, but I don't blame LeBron for leaving an agent when he never had to negotiate a contract with an NBA team in his life.
Hey, and look, it's a little different, but that's what I kept saying about Lamar Jackson. I don't need no agent. It's already been established. I either get this or I don't play.
Yeah.
Like, I either get this or I don't play. Kyler Murray makes this. Here's my resume. I either get $10 million more than this or I don't play. Choice is yours.
Yeah, he never said that, though.
No, not publicly.
No, he never said that, though.
That's how I would have negotiated as Lamar Jackson. I'm glad he didn't sign an agent.
I'm just glad he got his deal.
Yeah, and he got that done without signing an agent.
Regardless of how he did it, I'm glad he got his deal. And there doesn't seem to be anything shady in it until you find out. Lamar was cut the third game of the season because he missed the fine print on page 476. His contract's the size of the new NBA CBA. Will, you strike me as the type of person who would read a 676-page collective bargaining agreement.
That sounds awful. Like, just
the great part
terrible.
Is it's distributed to every player. Like, you guys got to read this.
Yeah. There's no way the players read that.
It's like, hey guys, these are your rights as a player. Here you go.
That's a lot. 676 pages.
Man, yeah.
Wow.
That's rough. I keep thinking like, oh, maybe I'll learn more about the salary cap and like the CBA and stuff. And then I remember how confusing it is. Maybe I'll just stick to stats.
Yeah. It's
do you think they make it more complicated than it needs to be? Because there are certain things where they seem to account for everything, which is good. But
you have to, like, there's billions of dollars, like, as a entity on the line that you have to understand how that stuff is distributed.
Yeah.
Because for you, if it's one, the splits in the collective bargaining agreement. So if we'll just say, for argument's sake, I don't know the exact number, but I'm sure it's very close to 50-50. If the NBA is worth $10 billion, for example, and $5 billion go to the owners and the other $5 billion go to the players, I want to know what I'm entitled to with that $5 billion. If I'm one of, however many hundreds of players that are in the league, I want to know which part of this is mine and how I make sure I get it all.
Yeah. I mean, these things can't be as simple. In some respects, you feel like it should be as simple as, hey, the cap is $300 million. You can allocate that as much as however you like. But the floor is 190, the cap is 300 million.
But that's the team.
Right.
But what about me? What's the most I can make if I stay in Sacramento? What's the most I can make? What's the most I can make if I go to Golden State? Like
as an individual.
Yeah.
You can make
well, what I mean is that's the stuff you have to know in the collective bargaining agreement.
Right. But they got MLEs and all this stuff. Like, it's $300 million. Don't go over the cap. If you do, there's a tax. And then for every dollar, we're taxing you that. And that doesn't even mean like you can sign more. But that just means
that's probably why the collective bargaining agreement is so long, because it's year one, these are your taxes. Year two, these are your taxes. Year three, you really need to rethink your life choices, because here are your taxes. And if you're on the second apron and you hit year two, you might as well find something else to do with your life.
Yeah.
Because your time is coming to an end.
You can re-sign your own players, but if you want to go get somebody that wasn't under contract by you, they count against the cap.
I can't wait to see the CBA in like 3 years and just what it does to the league.
The third tier of the second apron just says, Mike Dunleavy, no matter what Joe Lacob says, abort this mission immediately. Because you're the only one reading this page.
What's that part on Space Jam when they scored so many points and then the scoreboard
just goes to infinity?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it says crazy, isn't it? That's the third apron.
That's
crazy. Isn't
That's
it?
the Joe Lacob apron. Joe Lacob's jersey is going to be hung up there in the third apron of the collective bargaining agreement.
So, Will, is there, you've broken down the free agents and trade. Is there, get Harrison Barnes here. Let's say Harrison comes here. Where would you want this team to go specifically? Is it a Grant Williams? Is it, you talked about Kelly Oubre, like you got one more slot for this roster. Where you want to go with that slot?
It's either a really good backup center, like we're talking could be a starter center on a few other teams. I don't think Lopez falls that low. I think he's above that tier, so I don't think you could get Lopez and Barnes, but that would really excite me. Or it's another player around the same level as Barnes in that wing spot. Because I don't think we need guards. We definitely don't need another like starting center. Again, Lopez a little different than others, but so either that similar status to Barnes, the like the Oubre's, the Taurean Prince, somewhere along those lines. So that pull
Taurean Prince, I like that.
Yeah,
I like the Taurean Prince.
You could probably let the Brook Lopez thing go.
I think so too.
Yeah,
that's a pipe dream that we're never going to see.
That's fine.
But
the Taurean Prince one though, that's
I like
very
that.
intriguing.
Yeah.
I like that.
Someone like Bruce Brown too.
Mm-hmm.
I know he gets floated around a lot. I still would be so surprised if he leaves Denver, even with that minimal offer that they can give him. He seems to love it there. We saw Malone say that they plan on bringing him back, and his parade fun.
Right. Somebody asked, is Mike Malone still drunk?
Yeah.
But he's entitled to be.
Yeah, he should. They're just saying, is he still
cut it up?
Is he still tossing him back?
Go for it, big fella. Probably still telling Laker jokes somewhere.
What I'm hoping for too is just give me another athletic big. Metu was really good in that spot last year.
Oh, we never talk about
I know. It feels like he's not coming back. But can you get someone of that type? I really like Dwight Powell.
Just to be clear, you're entering free agency going, I really need someone like Chimezie Metu.
I know.
Who did that, Shaq? Oh, with Jaylen Brown. Yeah, I'd move on from Jaylen Brown to get a Jaylen Brown-like player.
And he really did say that. They don't work well together anymore. So give me a player just like him.
And that's kind of, it's funny because it's true. It feels like I don't know if this is true. I haven't talked to anyone, but it feels like the coaching staff may not trust Metu, which makes me think that that's kind of where the pairing is ready to go different ways. But can you get someone with that skill set that they'll trust more? Maybe someone who has a little more defensive
acumen.
Yeah, who's not when he's good on defense, he's good, but
he DNA is to be, a little more defense first.
Yeah, he just had a little too many lapses, I think. So can you get someone who's a little more steady, who produces on a nightly basis more continuously? I
think I was a one-man wolf pack with Metu. I didn't have any issue with his time on the court, and I don't have no problem with him coming back.
I don't have no problem.
Back.
Well, I don't think we need to do that.
It'd be really cheap.
Yeah, but at some point you're going to run out of roster spots. Like, what are you going to do with him?
Well, I mean, I'm looking at him as like that third center, third power forward type guy. I thought he was.
Why do you hate me as Kata?
I said third. Kata second.
Oh, I thought you had Trey at second.
Nah, I got him as the second. Well, yeah, it gets a little wonky.
Okay.
There in that.
By the way, can I point out we've got our nerve laughing at Shaq? Because how many times did we say if we're going to replace Harrison Barnes, we need a player like Harrison Barnes?
That's true.
We're hypocrites.
That's why we understood what Shaq was saying.
Look, Shaq, we know what you mean, but you got to understand it sounds as ridiculous as we do.
Right.
We need
but no, I don't know. Like I said, I understand that I'm in the minority, but I thought Metsu's time on the floor wasn't as bad as everybody else thought it was.
Kenny trying to run it all the way back. Not just kind of run it back. Just
I tried to get a new small forward, but
yeah. Easier
Okay,
said than
well,
done.
that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen, buddy. Allegedly.
Is it possible that even with all this money in free agency, the most important part of next season has nothing to do with free agency?
It's all about Keegan Murray.
Exactly. Yeah.
If Keegan Murray makes a jump and goes, like I said, I'm thinking points per game. His rebounds, I think we're about 5. But if maybe 4 or 5, I don't know. Maybe you could help me out with that.
4.6.
4.6. If he can go to 14 and 7, we got action.
That's a less than 2-point jump too. It was a 12.2. So last year,
say 15 and 7.
Yeah, last year when Keegan scored 20 points or more, the Kings were 12 and 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right,
and
we'll
that's
score
just
20 points a game, Keegan, and we're just fine.
Yeah.
We'll break the Warriors record. We'll be just fine.
That's where it seems like bring back Barnes, big jump from not even a big jump. I mean, that's substantial, but it's really just more volume for him, I think. Do that, bring in some role players, and I think I'll be happy.
I also think there could be a jump and improvement from Davion. I think Davion can get better.
I just really want Davion to find. I want Mike Brown and Davion to find like the spot for him. Like, and we talked about this last year, and particularly Casey, you brought this up. Just the rotation of De'Aaron, like in and out, and kind of Davion coming in without De'Aaron, and the De'Aaron coming back in, and then De'Aaron and Davion in the backcourt, and how it was probably difficult for him to find his groove. But that's part of being on a team, right? Like, and that's part of Mike Brown's responsibility, because I don't think anybody believes that Davion Mitchell isn't a really important component of the Sacramento Kings. Regularly referred to as the best on-ball defender in the league. If the only reason, to me, if you're having a conversation about trading Davion Mitchell, I think the only person you're even entertaining, like realistically, in that conversation is OG Anunoby, because you need another high-level defender back. Like you can't trade him for an offensive player. Like you need another high-end defender back. If OG Anunoby is out of the question, and I think we're all of the belief that he is, Davion Mitchell is a Sacramento King, and he's a Sacramento King for a long time. And use this year to definitively find that role for him and allow him to really get his feet planted in this league. Because year one was year one. We all know what it was. Year two, okay, we're kind of correcting the ship here. You got a different type of coach who, by the way, we always talk about players. Mike was trying to figure out a lot last year with this roster, and then being back as the main guy on the sideline for the first time in 8 years or 7 years or whatever it was for him. So I'm with you in that regard. We talk a lot about Keegan, but I'm expecting something from Davion this year too.
Yeah, I think I don't want to go so far to say he's overqualified for that role. I do think
he's a starting caliber.
He can start in this league.
Yeah, he's a starting caliber.
But that to me makes him perfect for this role. Like I want him here. I want this to work. I want him to continue to be on the team, because I think he is perfect in that role. Where we saw in the playoffs, unfortunately, it wasn't Game 7, but in Game 2, he was able to close out a game for you, and that's what I'm looking for with these guys. A lot of people talk about the starters, and and this is where I get, I talk whatever I say about the backup center, because none of these guys are closing the game out for you. None of them are closing it out. So I'm not gonna say it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna freak out over it. Davion is a guy that can close out a game for you. He can be on that court in the fourth quarter to help put things away. And I want to see if what he can do as far as his progression as a ball player. His third year, second year with Mike Brown. Like you said, Damien, I'd like for them to really get on the same page. It seems like Mike Brown from day one has always loved Davion, but I wasn't sure he knew exactly what to do with them. I hope they get on the same page from day one, and he could have a really, really big season next year. I hope.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope so too.
And looking at Davion and kind of his shooting splits from year 1 to year 2, to me, I think he made a lot of bigger jumps than just in the splits. You guys have talked about it, how his percentages have gone up. pulling up his shooting splits by area. Restricted area, rookie year, 60%. Last year, 66.3 in the paint. So floater area, 40% first year, 52 in last year. Mid-range, 40% up to 48. Corners went down 35 first year, 30 last year. And then above the break, 31 up to 32.7. So especially those first three, the restricted area, paint, and mid-range, those all were pretty big jumps, 6, 12, and 8%. I love when players have that versatility of scoring. We've seen, especially when Fox is out with injury or anything, that it's tough for them to kind of fill that mid-range volume. Can he up his mid-range volume, get up to 50, 52% from that spot, work a little more in the floater area? Like, he's so crafty at getting inside. So we always talk about his three-point shooting, but I think there's other room for him to grow on offense as well.
He also got better at the free throw line this past season. That was important for me.
So Kelly Oubre tomorrow?
Let's do it.
Yep.
We had
Tsunami Poppy.
We had Kuzma yesterday. We got Harrison today. What can we find out over the course
Who
of the
gets the front page of our screensaver tomorrow?
Oh, that's incredible. This nightmare will be over in like 47 hours, which is awesome because free agency begins then. Then. But really, free agency kind of ends at like 3:15.
Oh, yeah.
Once the initial drafts of tweets go out, it's kind of like, all right, what do we do now? What happens next?
So when you start looking for those 15th roster
All right,
spots.
that's it. That's it. So Cam Reddish isn't signed yet.
Hey, Cam, come to Sacramento, baby. Come on, Cam. I think you can turn your career
If
around.
Cam Reddish is a Sacramento King in the next week, there'll be never more certainty that the front office listens to this show.
It'll be like, then it ain't even gonna be a celebration. It's just gonna be like, all right, let's get to work.
Though we got that on pretty good certainty already.
Yes.
Shout out to the folks at the Golden One Center.
Big ups, man.
We love y'all.
Good
man.
people over there.
We love y'all. Will, thanks for hanging out with us, man.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate
It's
it.
fun.
Yes, indeed. It's fun to have you here in studio. Thanks for everybody for being with us. If you want more D'Lo and KC and you're listening on the TuneIn app, on the Odyssey app, if you're listening on 1320 AM, don't go anywhere. We'll run it back next here on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320.
Vamos Gigantes.
Jesse said the show's over. Jesse said we're overrated. We are overrated.
I can't get on the Cam Reddish train, Kenny. I'm sorry. I just can't.
Wow, man. What are we
can't
talking about at this point? We're talking about like a PJ Dozier roster spot. Like,
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, guys, we're going to shut down the stream because, one, it's been 4 hours. Two, we've got to record something to send over to KSFM immediately. And that wasn't a mishap. I actually meant KSFM this time. So we will see you guys tomorrow for the final countdown. Thank you, Dr. David.